Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into tonight's broadcast for round 3 of the SX Madness series, presented by RaceFactorGaming.com in MX Simulator, the Daytona Shootout. My name is Kellen Brauer here on Start Your Systems TV, and we are now set to bring you action from round 3. Qualifying is in the books, and your points leader Tyson Fresquez once again tops the timesheets. After just under an hour of qualifying, he was able to put a 126, I believe a 126.1 down to top the qualifying sheets. Only 2 other runners in the 126 range. And so Fresquez looks like he's going to be on another roll tonight after winning last week in Phoenix, Arizona. And Fresquez coming out of second at the opening round of the Las Vegas Open, but he picked up 5 bonus points for winning the shootout and was able to take the points lead from Vegas to Glendale last week. And now he has the points lead once again coming into tonight's race at Daytona. So next week we will have an off week for Thanksgiving break, but this week it's all about the race at Daytona on hand. And we'll get those pro races started in just a minute. In fact, we're about 4 minutes away from the start of Open Pro Heat 1. To give you an idea of the schedule tonight, that race will go for 6 laps with the top 9 to the main, and then a second pro heat with the same stigma behind it. 2 open pro am heats with 5 laps. The top 9 go to the main. The open pro shootout, which is 3 laps, and the top 6 from qualifying and or either the heat race winners also get in, and they are allotted to win 5 points if they win that shootout towards the championship. Second place gets 2. Third place gets 1. There's an Open Pro LCQ, 4 laps, 4 riders to the main, and Open Pro Am LCQ, which is also 4 laps, 4 riders to the main, and then our 3 main events for tonight: the Open Am main, the Open Pro Am main, and the Open Pro main, which will go for 10, 12, and 15 laps respectively. And then we will have another night of racing in the book, so hopefully you guys are excited to join us tonight live on SYS TV. It's going to be a fun one, so we should get racing underway, in any second. But while we're at that, you can see the track on your screen. Let's take a little closer look at the track map right here, brought to you by RaceFactorGaming.com. The shootout tonight, November 17th, 2016. A very quick start off of the pit lane into the tri-oval, the center of the tri-oval. Quick U-turn and another 90 right after it. So it's a really tight first corner complex, but it's actually fairly wide open in that big first corner, so hopefully not too much carnage there. Got a Dragon's Back whoop section on either side, and then a tricky first rhythm section that the guys hit. A lot of rhythm sections tonight that will be tricky. The first of 2 Supercross triples on the track, and then probably the trickiest rhythm section we'll see all night long, that really long one, upper right hand corner of the screen, that goes all the length down to the start straight. Come to the other side of the start straight and drop down on the other side, get a little triple step up, 3 rollers and a Supercross triple. Under the bridge, the first set of whoops, and then back over the bridge into the second set of whoops, another tricky rhythm section before the finish line. Bring it home, and 15 laps later, we will have a victor on this track, the Daytona Shootout Supercross in MX Simulator. So let's jump back in the server, get Pro Heat started in just a little bit. Give you guys a little snippet of the track if I can before these guys all get set up. So I'll take you guys around for a little third-person cheeky lap here. So as I mentioned, that first corner pretty wide open here. You can see these guys are going to have a lot of room, but then it tightens up real quick into turn 2. Right into that Dragon's Back whoop section. Then you get down into the third corner. These guys electing to go outside and triple, and then they will quad over this on-off, jump to the outside, and out of this corner they'll actually triple into this, and then triple all the way down to right here, so they can triple and hit the Supercross triple, which I went down on, my bad. And then coming up after this is that really tricky rhythm section that I mentioned right here. A lot of guys so far are electing to go inside here, and they will double in, quad these tables, and then triple up to here and jump over this table so they can double this and triple out. Come across the start straight, and then you got the wall triple, which I'm going to OJ a little bit here. The second Supercross triple. And as I mentioned, you go under the bridge. Little tabletop. First set of whoops, which is kind of tricky, but these guys are able to attack it pretty hard. Then you will go back over the bridge, so just as soon as you went under, you go back over it. And if you can get on top of these whoops, it's a very fast set of whoops tonight. A lot of guys hitting them in third gear. And a lot of guys also like to go outside here, and they will triple into this rhythm. Triple again, and then they will quad all the way into the corner. I just made a little mistake at the end of that, my bad. Quad up into this part of the corner right here. Spin it around and jump to here, and quad all the way to the top of this plateau. Jump down to the finish, and that is a lap of the Daytona Shootout Supercross. Again, brought to you by RaceFactorGaming.com. We're going to get the pro heats underway in just a second. So I'll just keep riding around the track, showing off the different lines. Lots of ruts and choices for people to use tonight. But imagine after they get through those first two corners without the ruts, the first corner they'll get to with ruts, which is the corner that I just went through, will probably be the trickiest of all the corners they will hit. And I apologize, but it looks like my computer just dropped some frames. I don't know what that was all about. Hopefully it'll iron out a little bit through the night. Hashtag Kellen get faster. Yes, I wish I could get faster. How many people we got in chat right now? We got about 29 people. It's pretty cool. If you are here and you are chatting, please say here. As none other than Chris Riesenberg joins us from hot down on the racetrack right up into the press box above the Daytona Super Speedway.
Yeah, I just cartwheeled out of the whoop straight into the press box, boy.
Did you? Yes, he did. All right, Chris is going to be joining us for the Open Pro Heats, and then obviously he will head back down to the track to race his Open Pro-Am heat. Do you know what heat you're in yet, Chris?
Not yet. We just had to re-grab UIDs.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Blake is, he's a noob.
Blake.
Oh, now he says another issue. Give us a minute to fix. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Peter's helping him. And I know nothing to help him.
Gonna have to call Wild Out Wheeler Boy. Just gonna do a little flyover of the track. Whee! Make all of our viewers sick. Hey look, SYS TV. Yeah. So what do you think of the track, Chris? Obviously you made it, so you're a little biased, but...
I don't know why it's so inconsistent.
Yeah.
Hang on, I gotta ban someone.
No problem.
They've already been warning kicked, and now they want to continue to be stupid, so...
Ban hammer incoming. Do not taunt the claw. All right, Moto Gogo, our guy in chat, he qualified, apparently, into the program tonight. So good luck. And good luck to all of our racers that are currently watching the stream. Hopefully we have a significant amount of racers that, when they are not racing, they come and watch our live stream and see what's going on, see what's shaking, see who's doing well, see what we have to say. Because you guys are currently watching SYS TV live on Twitch. Every race live on twitch.tv/Start Your Systems TV. Cool new banner that Chris made look sweet this week. There's another one of them right there. And right there. And then, if we go all the way down to this end of the circuit, there's another one right here, too. Yeah. So any word from Blake, Chris?
Nothing yet, but people are spamming chat, so I'm just getting ready to keep banning people.
Yeah, you know what? JLV made a huge mistake when he got rid of the mute chat feature. I have no idea why he ever got rid of that, but man, that was so nice to have back in like 2013 when people were being idiots. You could just mute the entire chat and only broadcast things that you needed to broadcast.
Right.
Oh well.
What do you think of the environment, Kellen?
I like it. I mean, it's, you know, the Daytona environment. We got all the semis in the pits this year.
And some garages.
Do we? Oh, yeah.
And some reskin signs.
Look at
new
the
finish
garages.
line.
Oh. What does this sign say? Versus PC, Moto Chasing, BGFX. Isn't there a red, white, and blue race tech signage somewhere?
Yeah, on both ends of the track.
We'll go down there and take a look. Get some of our sponsors some TV time here. Race Tech, BGFX, Moto Chasing versus PC.
Oh, you got shown the new SYS blimp, bro.
I did.
Oh, okay.
Are you talking about the one that says live on Twitch?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's been getting some TV time in here.
I've been, you know.
Tease it. Tease it. There it is. Daytona International Speedway. Look at all the big rigs we have in here. Just hanging out, looking so fresh. It's funny the way that you guys build this track. There's so much map space that's unused, so the whole backspace is just a giant black area.
All right, there's UIDs. There we go, boys.
All right. Just in time for me to finish my entire fly-through. And then we'll come back.
Unfortunately, the track being longer tonight, even though we shortened laps, it's probably going to run a little long.
Oh, yeah, so what are the lap times short? We're doing 8, 10, and 12?
5-lap heats for everything, 4-lap LCQs, and then 8, 10, and 12 for mains.
Okay, cool. So even Open Pro-Am is doing 5 laps, even though they would normally do 5?
Yeah, everything's doing 5-lap heats,
Okay.
just because of the longer lap times on the track, trying to keep the race time down a little bit.
Makes sense, makes sense. Definitely is a longer lap time. Top time 26. 126 by Tyson Fresquez.
Oh, I'm in Pro-Am Heat 1.
All right.
That means I'll probably bail out during Heat 2 a little bit to at least run a couple laps.
No problem, man.
Although I'm not expecting much tonight. I'm pretty sketchy on this track.
This might be one of those tracks where the person that isn't trying to go for the big lines every lap ends up winning the race. They can just
consistency seems hard. I'm not sure if it's the ruts or the traction.
I don't know.
Or the big whoops.
I think there's lines that people can figure out. I think that if you get the whoops clean every lap, and there's plenty of lines that are easier to take than some of the big, stuff that people are doing. The Daytona Shootout, presented by RaceFactorGaming.com. All right, who's in this first heat, Chris? Have you got a list?
Not yet. Oh, actually, I can find it. It is posted. Let me see. Heat number 1, Pro Supercross, Jesse Mullins, Matt Burkeen, Bryce Whelan, Connor Holyak, James Armstrong, Dade Honeywell, St. Laurent, Haley, Leek, Landry, Mitchell, Young, Mora, Jake Rose, Alex Heckman, Dorian, The Locomotive, Peter Leik, Tyler Schmidt, Stefan Guido, and Matthias Janis is Pro Supercross Heat number 1.
Sweet.
These things are pretty loaded up. Fresca, Shipley, Smith, Richard, Stanley, Siebold, McLeod. And the list goes on. We'll be all in Heat 2.
Wow.
So yeah, a lot of fast guys here tonight.
Should be a good one. We got 40 live viewers right now. Bringing you all the action. Round 3 of the SX Madness series. Of the 3 tracks we've raced so far, Chris, which one have you liked the most, would you say?
I'm most proud of this Daytona because I think it's the coolest design. Which one have I liked the most? I probably liked round 1 the most because it's the easiest for me to play.
Yeah.
But I started to really gel with round 2 the more time I spent on it. So.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But my favorite of them is definitely this one. It's also the most challenging, so it's hard for me.
No problem understanding that one. I can attest to that. Liking tracks that flow better for me than liking tracks that are just in general cooler.
I'm more excited to watch the pro guys on this track than any of the other ones, though, for sure.
Yes,
I feel like the long
sirree.
rhythms, lots of lines, and we're about to go racing.
Yeah, we are.
From
Here we go.
Daytona.
And the gate is down. A few guys almost hit the
Peter
gate.
Leik had a huge hole shot, pulls a wheelie all the way on the outside. He's going to get into the berm, but not before James Armstrong. And the number 33, he's going to pull the hole shot.
Wow.
Benny Landry with a good start. Peter Leik is got a good start, and he's Weevil Wobbin, loses a couple spots to Heckman and Bryce Whelan.
I just so happened to click over to Armstrong on the start, and he gets the hole shot, and there's some chaos behind him now. A lot of riders stacked up in the rhythm section, and the only rider to get through looks like the 70 there. That's Jake Rose.
The locomotive Peter Like moves into third, and he's still sketchballing all over the racetrack. Jesse Mullins has moved into the 4 spot with Holiak running a bad name, running in the 6 spot, and goes right through Craig Leak, who's lagged out laying in the middle of the track. Burkeen goes down in the 7 spot. Whelan's dropped back. Craig Leak back going in 10th.
Yeah, these guys are struggling with that long rhythm.
Armstrong's down.
Well, Holiak just crashed onto the back of Mullins, but yeah, Armstrong was down with the lead. He still almost got up with the lead, but it's Jake Rose and Peter Like doing dualies, trilies, honestly, with Mullins whipping behind them, and then Like goes down in the tunnel. How about Jake Rose out front? Leading the way on the Architect Honda, little swapties, and he's going to go down. So just like that, Mullins to the lead.
This is, I'm saying, setting the stage for the night. It's going to be chaos everywhere, it seems like. Commanding racetrack for these guys. Jesse Mullins leads the way. James Armstrong right there in second. Whelan's moved into third, and Peter Like still running fourth after probably one of the worst laps of his MXS career. He's running in fourth.
Wow. Yeah, so Mullins will lead them down. He's got Armstrong still breathing down his neck, and Armstrong was very racy looking in qualifying, running some very good lap times. Obviously, Mullins always quick.
Interesting seeing these lines in the first turns.
Yeah.
I was wondering what the pros would be able to do because they can flat track a lot better than myself. Those insides might actually work better than the big outside berms, and it looked like Mullins had them working pretty good there. Quad up from Armstrong into the outside. They're both going to go outside, see if they both get this triple. They do.
They're making that look so smooth and so easy. I'm interested to see what kind of lines they take in this long rhythm. Both of them electing to go inside and
Not
doubling.
going 3 in. Let's see what they do after that then. They're going to switch
Armstrong's in a
Mullins
quad.
with a mistake.
Mullins off the track behind the starting line, so James Armstrong gets into the race lead just like that. Both of them pretty far gone from Bryce Whelan, who making a couple mistakes in the long rhythm here.
Burkeen's moved up to the 4 spot, but he's casing the rhythm, and here comes Stefan Guido.
Let's bring in
Right there
Jake
in the
Rose,
mix.
Edward Mora, Colton Mitchell with him. Colton Mitchell's on the wrong bike. Holiak, Honeywell. Big train of riders, some of them not in transfer spot right now. Oh, and then we got a crash going before the tunnel as Mora gets together with Seabolt. So they, I'm sorry, that was Colton Mitchell, not Jeremy Seabolt. They're both going to fall outside of transfer spot. Looking at Jake Rose.
Oh,
working
Armstrong's
on Guido
down
through
with the
woods.
lead. And loses that to Mullins now.
Got a battle for fourth going on between Jake Rose and Stefan Guido as Guido gets back around him. Jake Rose, the Aussie, Guido out of Switzerland.
All these guys nailing that jump before the finish. That thing's pretty challenging, and they're making it look pretty easy, a lot of the top guys.
Yeah. So many different lines being used right now. Some guys tripling in to the rhythm section that they're coming up to, others doubling in.
Watch the 8 of Matt Burkeen jump a front flip over the triple as he comes in. I was going to see what line he's going to run down that rhythm. He's going to go to the outside, so he's going to try to jump 3 in here.
See what he's able to accomplish. Gets the on-off, drops down, and he's going to jump.
Gets that big jump to the second table,
Wow.
and then he's going to get a quad out. That is a good line. It's tough to hit consistently, though.
I think that's the biggest line in that rhythm probably that those guys are hitting. And Burkeen again front flipping the Supercross triple. He's down. OJ'd it. Whelan squeaks through. And there
Battle
goes
for
Honeywell.
6th and 7th is on right now. Holiak trying to move around Tyler Schmidt. He's going to scrub past him on the triple jump. Shuts him off into the turn, though.
Oh.
Schmidt. Holiak goes down with Jake Rose.
And squeaking through is Colton Mitchell along with Guido before Rose finally gets going. Now Mitchell gets around Guido.
Starting lap 4 or 5. These heats going to go fast. Only 5 laps. Jesse Mullins leads the way. The number 9 machine's got a pretty solid lead. 8 seconds over James Armstrong, who's running in second. As Mullins getting that triple off the Dragon's back. See what he's doing in this long rhythm. He's been going inside. Let's see if he moves out a little bit and tries the 3 in. He's not going to do it this lap.
I think these guys are content with doing what I believe the safer line in this rhythm. It's still very fast, very manageable, but not as fast as some of the other lines we've been able to see from these guys.
Yeah, putting all the solid laps together for the races is going to be important because you can't afford a crash. For sure.
Yeah, Mullins has now stretched it out to over 7 seconds on Armstrong. They're both gone from Mullins' teammate on the Prime Designs machine, Dade Honeywell. Looks like it's going to be an easy win as long as he can't crash. For Jesse Mullins, he'll click onto the white flag lap this time by.
Taking a look back at the transfer spot held right now by the number 20 at Jack Haley. But Jake Rose still right in the mix. He's been in the mix all heat race long. He's running in 10th with Tyler Schmidt all over him and Guido right there as well. Got a lot of battling still to go on for this last transfer with about a lap and a half to go for these guys. They're pretty far back.
Jack Haley is going to be tough to pass, but Jake Rose is going to get a
Mora's
gift.
Down.
Yeah, Edward Mora is on the ground, and Schmidt goes by as well. So now Rose is going to try to tighten the sphincter through the whoops and hang on to the 9 spot as everybody's chasing him down in the background.
Rose going to go over the berm and gift the spot to Tyler Schmidt.
Oh, Mora is flying over the berm too. But yeah, Schmidt does now get that spot.
Back up front, Mullins is about half a lap away from a heat race #1 win. He's got some lappers to deal with and some swaps through the whoops, but he keeps it together.
Mullins is good outdoors. We know that. 2-time national champion. And although Daytona is still a supercross track, it's one of the longer, more outdoorsy types of supercross tracks. Could lend into Mullins' favor a little bit tonight.
Yeah, also the ruts in the corners is a special technique to go fast through.
Yeah.
And he's not a slouch at supercross. He's been competitive all season long thus far as he jumps onto the second table, and he's going to take heat #1 at Daytona, round 3 of the SX Madness Series. James Armstrong coming around looking to seal up a second place finish.
So Armstrong through. Honeywell will get 3rd as Burkeen all alone in 4th. Colton Mitchell gets through the whoops clean in 5th. Holiak also clean through in 6th. Whelan is 7th. Schmidt now up to 8th as Jack Haley is back into the number 9 spot. And Stefan Guido is not too close to him, so as long as they all get cleanly through the whoops, which they do,
there's a lapper in this rhythm that they're going to have to deal with. Tyler Schmidt dealing with him right now. Oh, that's not a lapper.
That's Bryce Whelan. They get together,
Schmidt
and Whelan, yeah. Fortunately, Whelan has a big gap on this huge battle for 10th going on right now, so he should get up in front of it. But Guido and Craig Leake are trying to battle to the line. Those are teammates, as Whelan does take the final transfer spot.
Wow, what a survival fest back in the pack. The top 2 guys kind of got away early.
Yeah.
Mullins and Armstrong, and let all the other action happen behind them. Honeywell came through the pack pretty well to get up onto the podium. And heat winner Jesse Mullins will make sure that he's in the shootout. I'm guessing he was already a top 6 qualifier, but if not, he will be in that Open Pro shootout.
And that could be huge. Those 5 bonus points on the line in the shootout so far have proved very healthy when it comes to Tyson Fresquez's lead, as he has 52 points to Matt Burkeen's 40 in the championship after 2 rounds.
Yeah, Mullins was actually your 2nd fastest qualifier, so backing it up well.
And speaking of fastest qualifier, we're about to see tonight's fastest qualifier in this next heat. Tyson Fresquez, the 2016 Supercross champion, points leader and fastest qualifier on the night, coming up in just a moment.
Also your favorite rider in MX Simulator, Ben McLeod.
Well, McLeod has been very fast tonight, so we could see some good stuff out of McLeod. He's usually one of the faster riders on the track anyway, so if he can start up front, he could play some spoiler for the guys that are contending for this championship. We haven't seen McLeod in the first 2 rounds, so not going to be in the championship.
All right, heat #2, Fresquez, Shipley, Smith, Richards, and more.
Who do we expect to get the whole shot out of this one? Where should we be looking?
I want to kind of see where they line up on the gate. I'm thinking like gate 4 is probably a good spot. Gate 4, maybe 5. But you can rail into that berm pretty decent from out by the box even. So, and then also watch the guys on the inside if they get shut off to sneak around the inside a little bit when everyone else pushes out to that berm.
I'm going to take a look at Ben McLeod because he is on that 4th gate spot, like you said. He's got Smith, Shipley, and Rob on the inside of him with Seabolt just to the outside of him. Let's go heat race number 2 running here at Daytona. And it's Fresquez who gets a beautiful jump and the whole shot.
Smith sneaks through the inside, though. He's going to get a run into these rollers. Is he going to be able to capitalize on it with Smith? No. So 2 definitely different lines in turn number 1. Smith just tucked it tight. He's
Look at that line. Oh, he gets landed on.
Together.
Fresquez jumped all the way across the track, so that was a Fresquez mistake in the end, but it just cost them both big time as Devin Davis went to the lead, but Kyle Robb squeaks by him.
Rob was in front, went to the berm, lands on Davis. Somehow they both stay up, and Seabolt giving chase. Gebhardt's down. He was in the 4 spot. This is going to open up the door for Andrew O'Hagan.
Battle for the lead is not done as Davis is going back after Rob coming across the start straight. Rob is going to nose it in, but land it.
Wow.
That was close.
Can't believe he pulled that. A couple of really good friends out here in the 1 and 2 spot.
Oh,
we
that's
won't
for
see
sure.
any action here.
Nothing. Well, the question might be, will Davis be able to keep with him? Davis was very fast in qualifying, but Rob is a former champion, and Davis actually going to get passed and put on the ground by Seabolt. Not sure if Davis thought he had more room, but he was just going to cut down to the inside, and Seabolt was already there.
I think Davis got a little off balance down the whoops and was falling that side anyways, and Seabolt just had such a run up the inside, he had nothing he could do. Seabolt looking feisty right now.
Yeah.
He's coming after Kyle Robb. He makes a little mistake there. He's scrubbing everything hard.
So it's going to be Rob that's going to lead them down for the first lap, but he's not too far out in front of Seabolt, who's given chase behind him. Then Davis has the 22 of Brady Stanley closing in with Andrew O'Hagan and Jeremy Shipley, a cluster of pretty good friends all riding together here. Especially Devin Davis and Brady Stanley. Those two get along great.
Brady's got a run on him. He's going to quad up and go right on by the 45 of Davis. Davis going to look back inside.
Wow,
though.
Nice move by Davis, who's still hanging on, but Stanley's going to get the 3-3 through here. Scrub down
a lot
the
less
triple.
mistakes thus far in this heat race. These guys getting a little bit more dialed in.
Meanwhile, battle up front is raging on with Seabolt closing in on Rob. He's going to get alongside and shut the door, and they're going to get together. Rob gets sent into the start gate. I don't know what that was. That was lag or something. Seabolt just dragged him in there. But Stanley is right on his tail now for the race lead. Great action in this second heat race from Daytona.
Devin Davis running strong, and he's running some different lines than the other guys, which come main event time with lappers and such, that could really play to his benefit, being outside the main line.
Yeah.
Jeremy Shipley running the ode to Craig Richards. I guess he's rocking his gear tonight. Maybe forgot his at home or something.
He's running Richards' gear, and he's also running, I think, Adam Holmes' bike or something, number 81. I don't know who
he
that
jumps
is.
right over Devin Davis with a mistake by Davis. Tyson has moved his way up into the 6th spot, battling with Ben McLeod for the 5th spot.
These guys are going to come through charging. Look at Fresquez. Look at how smooth he was on the inside,
Wow,
but
he carried
McLeod's going
a
to get
lot
the
of
run.
speed through that inside line. Didn't lose any time, even though McLeod did that big line around the outside.
McLeod hangs on to the spot for now. Great battling for 5th. As they can see the leaders right in front of him, Fresquez gets a great drive in the whoops.
Staying really low.
Oh, McLeod off the
goes
track.
over the rut. Another rider down at the end of the section. That's Seabolt. Going to get back going, but not before Fresquez sneaks over the ruts in front of him. I don't know. Maybe just closing the line off.
Here comes Seabolt back, though. They're going to go almost side by side off the triple. Fresquez a little short, and Seabolt going to try to squeak to the inside, but he was very friendly there.
Give a call to the 72 of Jesse Calloway battling Ben McLeod right here in the number 7 spot. O'Hagan's back in 8th. Richards right now is the last transfer in 9th, getting that triple up into the rhythm. And Jeremy Smith right now out of transfer spot on the number 4, but he's coming through the pack right now as he just flew by Jared Seidhoff. Kyle Robb also trying to charge his way back into qualifying. A lot of talent not in a qualifying spot right now as we have a couple laps to go, I guess.
Yeah, this heat is very stacked. So we still see a
Stanley's
train
got
of
the
riders.
lead now with Shipley all over him.
Just saw Callaway
Davis.
make a mistake. Oh, Davis is down in the whoops. Let's see how many people are going to go around him. There's a big train of riders. McLeod is coming through. Look at this 3-pack coming out of the whoops right behind him.
Stanley go? He dropped all the way to 5th. He must have went down in the corner. I can't keep up with everything that's going on.
So up front, it is Shipley over Fresquez and Seabolt now as McLeod drops to the 4th spot. Stanley is 5th. Davis back to 6th after his crash in the whoops. O'Hagan 7th, Callaway 8th, and Jeremy Smith now moves into the 9th spot, but he's got Rob and Seidhoff right behind him.
I'll let you handle the call from here. I'm going to go get ready for my race.
All right, Chris heading back down to the track as Seidhoff goes down, so he's going to come out of this battle as Richard squeezes through. Look at all this action. Look at there's 3-4 riders in one turn here as Davis looks like he may have just gotten passed by Andrew O'Hagan, and now Callaway is coming up from behind with Jeremy Smith trying to get through as Callaway hits the deck. That's going to give the final transfer spot to Kyle Robb with Craig Richards trying to come through. Now Robb dumps it, so Callaway's going to try to fight back. Richards also sneaking in from the background as Smith has now made the pass on Devin Davis. He's going to go after Andrew O'Hagan. Stanley still behind McLeod. Seabolt in the 3 spot. Fresquez second, trying to run down his old nemesis from 2012 Supercross. This is the 2 title combatants that year. First and second in the championship in reverse order. Fresquez, your 2012 Supercross champion, over Shipley that year. Fresquez is going to try to run him down. White flag in the air though, so Shipley going to try to hang on for one more lap, but he's going to go off the track and lose a big chunk of time. Here comes Fresquez down the inside. Jumps in behind him on the Dragon's back, coming down the backside now. Shipley able to stretch it back out a little bit with a great drive. Gets the quad through, and Fresquez is just trying to give chase, stay in the tow. But man, Shipley is so smooth, always great at Daytona. He won the Daytona Supercross this year, which was his first Supercross main event in a long while. You have to go back to that 2012 season where he battled Fresquez for the championship to see the last time that Shipley won a main event before this season, and he's going to have Fresquez breathing down his neck to the line here. Let's go on board with the 21 machine. Look at that, top time was a 26. These guys are already running 24s in race situations. Fresquez going to use an inside line here, try and use it to his advantage. Gets the double and then scrubs it down. Look at that line. Coming into the whoop, Shipley a little mistake. Fresquez pulls alongside. Shipley may still have the line, but Fresquez is going to try to shut the door, and he does. And Shipley uses the inside, and oh, Fresquez just gets over him. A beautiful pass by your Supercross champion. And he's going to bring it home after a great fought battle to the line. Tyson Fresquez wins Heat 2 coming from behind. Shipley takes second. Seabolt and McLeod follow home in 3rd and 4th. Jeremy Smith got all the way up to the 5 spot as Rob is now 6th. Craig Richards is 7th. O'Hagan is 8th. And Devin Davis is down in the whoops in 9th. So just when we saw Davis having a much better night tonight, he goes down and loses that last transfer spot as Stanley was able to get through and get it. And Seidhoff will also miss out. Seidhoff having a very rough go getting back into the Supercross swing after winning the 250 Outdoor Championship as Stanley takes the final transfer spot. Seidhoff not going to the main event just yet. He'll have to go through the LCQ. Davis also missing out. Good ride, but just going to be short is Jake West on the 133. Jesse Callaway was up there. He went backwards. Ethan Parks, Fred Heather, Devin Ryan, Kevin Frizaka, Walter Gebhardt, Josh Betts, and AJ Green. All missing out, so we'll wait for cuts. But as of right now, it is Fresquez who was your Heat 1 winner over Shipley just in the end there. Shipley, a weird case tonight. Not sure why he's running the number 81 bike with the Craig Richards gear, even though he is number 39. And just trying to 5 that. Somehow got it. Always love reading chat after a race. Such great commentary. We have 47 viewers in here tonight. How you folks doing right now, live on Twitch TV? Enjoying the racing action thus far. We just had a great second pro heat on the night. And coming up is the first of the Open Pro-Am heats, which we've already heard Chris Riesenberg will be in, and we're about to see who else will be in this Open Pro heat. Alrighty, let's see who we can find in here. Might be a little bit closer to the inside. Looks like Ricky Williams on the 215 is on gate 5. We see Riesenberg on the 448 all the way on the inside. Open Pro-Am Heat 1 from Daytona is underway, and we got a few runners jumping the gate, a lot of wheeling going on, but it looks like the 908 may have got to the corner first, but he slid out. In the end, it is Benny Geel with the whole shot, but Body Parker goes to the lead on the 15 Rhythm X Yamaha. Ryan Wilson into the 2 spot with Leitzel up in 3rd. Carson Tickle in the 4 spot. Ricky Williams, who hit the gate, he ends up in 5th. And actually he's in 6th behind Michael Ming Woodley. He almost had the whole shot but lost the front wheel. Blake Scheinman is back here with Brandon Hedge, Austin Bear, and Kyler Hockey all up front. And then there's some chaos in this rhythm section. Runners going down. Oh, Parker down with the lead. That's going to give Carson Tickle the race lead. The younger brother, Brock Tickle, immediately hands it back over to Michael Ming Woodley, who almost had the whole shot and now goes down at the end of the rhythm section, handing the lead to the 201 MGX Suzuki of Logan Leitzel, but he goes down, so it's just musical chairs up front as Ryan Wilson goes to the lead. We got some dualies between Wilson and Woodley. I don't know where Carson Tickle was going, but he just cut around the triple and then got into Ryan Wilson. You know, it's the Pro-Am Class 1. That was very interesting, and it puts Ming Woodley back at the front. Oh, that was interesting. So Woodley over Hockey, who gets into Body Parker, which allows Ricky Williams through, but he's off the track underneath the tunnel jump. Michael Ming Woodley has a huge lead now as Leitzel finds himself back in the 2 spot ahead of William Syme. Those two are going at it, coming into the corner, and Leitzel puts him on the deck. Ryan Wilson sneaks through into the 3 spot now, but it is a Michael Ming Woodley, Motion Motorsport. 908 machine leads the opening lap of this 5-lap heat race. Leitzel, and here's Wilson getting repassed by Syme. Wilson was trying to give Syme a go for the 3 ride. Blake Scheinman finds himself up in 5th as Body Parker, who is a early race leader, goes down, and James Schuler trying to avoid him, also high sizing, goes down. I saw Carson Tickle slice through. Here's the 215 of Ricky Williams also getting around James Schuler. And behind that is Thomas Jazz with the 72 of Brandon Hedge fighting for that position. The 448 of Chris Riesenberg in the background. Lots of chaos, lots of guys struggling with this track. You can tell that this is one of the more technical tracks that we've raced of the 3 rounds. These guys with limited time to qualify on the track. Not looking as smooth as they might have if they had more time. But that's what this limited qualifying does. It shows who the really, truly good players are at the game and not the people that have unlimited time to qualify during the week, as Carson Tickle is down in the rhythm section. And that was Brandon Hedge slicing through with Ricky Williams just getting up from a crash. So up front, it is still Michael Ming Woodley with a nice, comfortable little lead over William Syme, who's ripping through the whoop section in the 2 spot. Oh, and William Syme treating that entire rhythm section like it's a giant whoop section there. We now see that Blake Scheinman has moved up into the 3 spot. And he's ahead of Logan Leitzel and Body Parker. Parker down the inside of Leitzel lands on him, and they both end up sliding out, but somehow not falling off the bike. I don't know why I said bark, but bike. Leitzel ends up in front of him again after the rhythm section to the finish line, but Parker is going for it. Leitzel shuts the door. This battle does not appear to be over yet between Leitzel on the MGX Suzuki as he goes off the track, and Parker takes the spot. Leitzel on the track in front of Schuler just gathers it up, as these guys are still a little ways back. Blake Scheinman, but now Schuler's going to try to go after Body Parker. Oh, Leitzel, just saw him going down in the background. Oh, we got a change for the lead. William Syme snags the lead away from Michael Ming Woodley on the third lap of the race here. Woodley all out of shape in the whoop section, just trying to gather it up before the corner, and does. But how about William Syme? Peak One Designs looking smooth. Try to find another battle. Body Parker in front of James Schuler. Let's actually go on board with the 523. Into the whoops. This has been a tricky spot for guys all night long. Schuler looks like he's got it smooth as Body Parker ends up on the inside of Scheinman after the whoops, so we got a change for third. Scheinman must have had a mistake there. Looks like Schuler's going to tuck to the inside, maybe get around Scheinman. Scheinman, no. Fights back around the outside, but it's not over yet. They're going to go bar to bar over the finish line. Schuler will have the advantage on the inside here and uses that advantage very nicely. Move into the 4th spot around Blake Scheinman. Now he's going to try to knuckle up and go after Body Parker for the 3 spot. Whoa, little mistake, and Schuler magic manning his way through that rhythm section a little bit. Scheinman, Williams, Leitzel, Riesenberg is in 8th by the looks of it, so that puts Ryan Wilson in 9th. Final transfer spot, and Austin Bear trying to run him down. Francisco De La Paz probably too far back to get there, although these crashes that these guys keep having could become a factor as Riesenberg tries to go around Leitzel just coming back onto the track. Gets the spot. And he's going to go after Ricky Williams next. Scheinman a little out of shape on the triple. Oh, and that is Body Parker hitting the deck. Just getting up. Still has quite a good gap over the guys behind him, though. White flag is in the air, though, for your race leader William Syme, who is long gone. Michael Ming Woodley has no challengers yet, but James Schuler might get there just before the end of this one. Oh, we got a rider down. That was Ming Woodley, so Schuler from way back finds himself in 2nd by the end of this thing, but William Syme long gone at the front. Now Schuler down. So Ming Woodley goes back through for the time being until he crashes. So Schuler going to re-enter the track sideways, but hold on to the 2 spot. Here comes that Scheinman battle. He was actually battling with the lapper, so Scheinman goes off the track there. Missed the timing gate for sure, as Body Parker is still trying to close in. Riesenberg was able to get around Ricky Williams, who went backwards, and Ryan Wilson is down on the finish line. Here comes Austin Bear for the last transfer spot. Down the inside, woo! Throws it up the inside, but Wilson counters. This is going to be close action to the end. Let's go up front real quick just to see William Syme bring this thing home before we go back to the last transfer spot. Great ride for Syme. Long gone at the front. And he will bring this thing home to win this heat race in the Open Pro-Am division. So 2, 3, 4. Ming Woodley on the ground. 5. Body Parker. 6. Riesenberg. 7. Ricky Williams. 8. Logan Leitzel. And the battle for 9th is still on between Ryan Wilson and Austin Bear, but Wilson able to get away so far. Oh, that is, no, Leitzel is down at the end of the rhythm, so Bear is going to get the spot. Now Leitzel's going to have to go back after him, as Bear goes off the track a little bit himself, but he's going to maybe make the pass on Ryan Wilson, although he cases the triple. Only 2 spots available, but 3 riders on your screen. 8th, 9th, and 10th as Wilson makes a mistake entering the whoops. Bear is down in the whoops off the side of the track. Leitzel just jumping through the whoops is going to hang on to the spot for now. There's actually a lot of chaos going on in front of us as Blake Scheinman got around Schuler. Ming Woodley holds on for 4th. Riesenberg got Body Parker for 5th. Ricky Williams is 7th. Ryan Wilson 8th. Logan Leitzel 9th. And Austin Bear looks like he is just going to miss out, especially with a big crash like that. Leitzel is going after Ryan Wilson. He quads into the corner and just he goes right over the berm. A little too much speed, but fortunately Austin Bear is down. So Wilson through, Leitzel through, and Bear going to go to the LCQ along with Francisco De La Paz, Thomas Jazz, Brandon Hedge, Carson Tickle, Jake Warden, Kyler Hockey, Chris Santino, Zach Fisher, Dakota Cox, and Benny Geel. Whew. That was some crazy action-packed Pro-Am Heat action racing. So our boy Chris Riesenberg joining us in the booth tonight. He just made it out of that one in 5th, so we'll see him later on in the main event. He'll be able to join us and catch all the action for the LCQ in this class later on tonight. Of course, we have the second Open Pro-Am Heat coming up here in just a second. Then the shootout right after that, Open Pro Shootout, which will go 3 laps. Then 2 LCQs and 3 main events, and then we'll be done for the night. Taking a look in chat, got 45 people viewing the stream right now. Good to see that. Shout out to the Cody B. Don't know who that is, but asking for a shout out.
Your channel.
What is up, Chris Riesenberg? 5th place.
Wow, it was like some full-on chaos.
Dude, the first lap we were watching that, I think there's probably 7 or 8 different leaders on the first lap, and it was all just because the leader kept crashing. Someone get the lead, crash, get the lead, crash, get the lead, crash. It was crazy.
Yeah, what's crazy is like 2.5 laps in, I said, well, I'm not going to qualify. And somehow I came all the way up to 5th. Like, I didn't expect to even get to 9th.
Yeah.
It was just chaos. I mean, I literally started grandmaing around the track and just putting, and it worked out. It's definite chaos and a half.
Well, the good thing is that you made it, and I was just saying...
Now I get to watch the LCQs.
Yeah, you get to watch both LCQs, our favorite races of the night. And you get to watch this second Pro-Am Heat, see your competition a little bit. So they're underway.
Justin Harper with a good start. He's going to go to that outside and hold it to the lead. Doug Oakley snuck the inside. He had a great qualifying time, and he was 4th last week. So he's a strong runner in this class. One of the guys with some pro experience dropping into this Pro-Am class. And Oakley's down in the 2 spot. Hunter Friesen going to take over the number 2 spot now. And the pileups begin.
Yeah.
Nick Hancher currently down. Harper gets nasty over the triple, and OJ's and dies.
Oh no.
The lead.
Friesen runs into him and goes down. So Atkinson goes to the lead. And I'm trying to look at who got through. Colby Eglund and Justin Harper gets up in 3rd. Heagney, Friesen, Cummings, Cimaroc. All in a little battle right here. So Atkinson leads the way.
Looking, so Oakley's buried in the pack right now. I was also looking for Jack Zarser. Was he in Heat 1? He was the top qualifier. He should be in here.
That's interesting. Our fastest qualifier not here.
And points leader, right?
Yeah, points leader. He won the first 2 rounds.
Wow.
Wow, that's a
Huge
big turn of
shakeup.
events. Yeah. Are we seeing him say anything in chat right now? Meanwhile, Colby Eglund was trying to go after Atkinson for the lead. He just lost the front end before the finish line, but Atkinson leads the opening lap on lap 2 of 5. Second Open Pro-Am Heat here at the Daytona Shootout, presented by RaceFactorGaming.com.
The 250F of Jeremy Atkinson leading the way right now. Colby Eglund in the 2 spots.
Ooh, tight into that corner. 3 different lines by the top 3. And Harper's going to try to triple across the track in front of Eglund, and he gets it. And then he jumps all the way across the other side of the track. Almost OJ's the triple in the same spot. And it closes up again. Look at that move by Harper. Oh, he goes down, and Eglund just misses him. Yeah, this top 2 battle is good. It was a top 3 battle there for a second. But Eglund's still all over Atkinson for the lead. Oh, he's going to miss the triple here, though. Off the side of the track. Oh, but Atkinson OJ'd the triple and went down, so Colby Eglund to the lead right now. Cale Cimaroc slices through. Gets around Atkinson for second. And we see Logan Heagney back here right in front of Hunter Friesen, and Seth Jones just put the moves on Justin Harper. Harper trying to get him back, but thinks better of it and checks up as, oh no, double crash for Jones and Harper and Doug Oakley in the background as Zach Howell just weaves his way through the graveyard. Fair enough, Chris, to call the long set of whoops the coffins tonight, because they're eating up a lot of people.
I honestly thought the short ones were going to cause more problems, and they're not deep enough to really call coffins, I don't think.
Yeah,
We'll have to think of a new name.
That's crazy. A lot of people are trying to hit them so hard, they just go down by the end of them. Back up front, Simrock has taken the lead away from Eglund, who is again off the track over there. So Atkinson slides through. Hunter Friesen is trying to keep things close in the 3 spot.
All right, I'm gonna help Kellen or Blake real quick, and then I'll be back.
No problem. So as they get things sorted out for the shootout, we're gonna take a look at what's going on up front. Simrock, a little mistake. Battle for second is still good, as Eglund just got back around Atkinson. Atkinson losing a lot of time, electing to take a different line through there. Eglund gets through smoothly. Friesen back here in the 4 ride. And Seth Jones ahead of Logan Heagney, Zach Howell, and Justin Harper. I believe this is the battle for the final transfer spot right now. Yes, it is. Brandon Cummings ahead of Doug Oakley. Both of them electing to take the same line. Oakley maybe gets a little smoother, downsides the triple, and here they go on the wall jump. Oakley right on his rear tire. Now he thinks of taking a different line as being a better option. And they both get around Heagney, and that's Zach Howell on the ground, so they're both in the transfers spots for right now. But Cummings hits the wall, loses a spot to Oakley. Heagney now in the final transfer spot, and he's having some troubles with the whoops. Oh, and we had Cummings make a little mistake on top of the jump, and he is all out of shape in the whoops, able to corral it together and hold the spot off on Heagney. Great action back in the field a little bit. Let's head up front once again, and Simrock all alone. Atkinson and Eglund still going at it. They were going at it for the lead until Simrock sliced through. Now this is a hardcore battle for second here on lap 4 of 5. Just when it gets close, it seems like these guys make a little mistake and pull away from each other. So Atkinson has the upper hand right now, but he makes another mistake. He's going to miss the rhythm on the way out, so Eglund's going to pull alongside on the wall jump and stay a little bit lower on the process. Side by side coming to the triple. Are we going to have some dualies? No. Boner Air Leclerc over there by Jeremy Atkinson, as he gets passed by Colby Eglund for the 2 spot, and they're still trying to go after Simrock at the front. So I'm being told it's pronounced Colby Eglund, not Eglund. So I apologize for that. He slides out after the whoops, and he gets plowed into by Atkinson, who had nowhere to go. And here comes Harper. Will he get there before these guys get going? Look at how smooth Harper is through the whoops right now. Now we got a 3-way battle shaping up for the 2 spot with Harper getting into the mix, as he's going to jump to the outside of Atkinson and make a nice move.
User joined your channel.
Riesenberg joining us in the booth again as Eglund holds on to the 2 spot. Simrock gone at the front on the white flag lap.
Take a look back for the last transfer battle. Our last transfer rider right now, Brandon Cummings, is laying on the ground.
So Zach Howell closing in. Stephen Cameron is also right there, and Tyler Fry. Lots of hungry sharks in the water want that last transfer spot. Oh, but Howell out of shape in the whoops. Woof, good save. Oh, Stephen Cameron ends up sideways in the track, so Fry slices underneath and goes down trying to get around Howell. That's all going on behind transfer right now. Cummings just has to keep it on 2 wheels, and those guys won't get to him.
Easier said than done.
Yeah, absolutely. Back up front real quick, Cale Simrock will be coming to the line to get the checkered flag in just a few moments as he kind of doubles his way through the whoops there. Ooh, Simrock, big mistake. Eagland and Atkinson still going at it for the 2 spot as Simrock brings it home to win.
Eagland in a bad spot to get going. That face is really steep. He needs to try to get up that jump and then get across this nasty collision and then get set up for the whoops. Luckily, he's got a good gap over Hunter Friesen.
Yeah, got it smoothly. Oakley is in front of Harper coming to the line. Let's see, Harper tries the quad to the outside. Does he get it stopped? Oakley shuts the door. Harper back down the inside. They touch, and they're both
There's
down.
A wall there.
Yeah, they're both
Oakley.
down. Oakley and they both go down. Eagland is going to slice through as long as he doesn't go down as he almost does. Wow, look at what a save there. Holds on for the 3 spot. Oakley just gets Harper to the line. As Atkinson finished second. Friesen going to make the main as Heagney and Cummings are side by side in the whoops.
Seth Jones has the last transfer spot. He's got about 9 seconds right now on Matthew Perez. Needs to stay on 2 wheels, and he will find himself in the main event in the Open Pro-Am class.
Yeah, to the line. Heagney will get it. Cummings in and Jones in. So Perez, Burks, Howell, Fry, Taylor, Cameron, Schmeider, L, Martin, Barwig, and Hancher all need to go to the LCQ from this one. This is going to be a pretty wide open Pro-Am main event tonight without our championship leader at the helm. Jack
Yeah,
Sars.
absolutely. Crazy. He's been really, really strong. I was hoping he would actually come through and capture a title here and then find himself up in that pro class coming to Supercross season because I think he's good enough to do it.
Well, I think he's plenty good enough to be in the pro class. We were talking about that a little bit in qualifying earlier tonight. He has got some terrific qualifying times put together, equal in many ways to the pro times. So,
and he's consistent racing as of, I mean, I kind of found that out last week trying to give him chase a couple times, and I mean, he was putting consistent laps together. So, I mean, I think he's definitely ready to make that jump, but it's really cool for this Pro-Am class. Definitely not quite as tough as like a lights pro class during RF Supercross, and gives these guys a chance to run up front and win a little bit, gain some confidence, and maybe stand out a little before they move into that pro class. Because once they move there, getting those wins is not easy.
You're absolutely right with that.
Oh, I got a broadcast.
All right, so coming up next is the Open Pro Shootout, which, if I'm not mistaken, is only our top 6 qualifiers.
It is. Top 6 qualifiers. I'm going to list those off, and then we're going to grab that restart.
So hopefully we don't get almost a lap in before we realize we're missing someone this week. Eh?
I double-checked. Oh, I guess we're restarting. Before I do...
All right. So this one will go 3 laps. If you can win the Open Pro Shootout, you get 5 bonus points towards the championship. Second place still gets 2 points, and third place gets a point. So lots of points on the line for even finishing inside of the top 3 on this one. We got Smith, Shipley, Mullins, Whelan, Burkeen, and somebody must be on the far outside that I'm missing. Or is there only 5 here?
Looks like only 5 here. We have...
They're underway. Smith
User was moved out of your channel.
as Riesenberg gets dragged out of the channel. Meanwhile, Burkeen ends up at the front. Are we missing somebody already? Is this going to be red flag? No Tyson in this race. We should be seeing Tyson, but not sure where he is.
User
So.
was moved to your channel.
Tyson is not in the server right now.
Uh-oh, Tyson on the server. Smith was up front. He goes down. Burkeen to the lead. What is going on here?
The amount of F's given by Burkeen, front flip him even when he's in the lead. I just love it. His trademark move.
I thought for a
The
second.
trademark move also is going huge down that rhythm section.
Oh man, yeah, gets it clean. I thought for a second these guys might be thinking that it would be red flagged with the amount of kind of goonage that was going on. But no, Burkeen still front flipping the triple in the lead of the shootout. 5 points on the line, and he's second in the championship with no Fresquez lining up. He could really use this win in the shootout. But
I think he's so good at front flips, they're not that risky for him.
yeah.
And it keeps him relaxed and loose is my guess. That's just my guess. He
That's
front
a good
flips
point.
yet again, gets the front end high, but he's down into the whoops. Mullins is probably watching this like, this guy's beating me. I'm a 2-time national champ, and this guy's playing around.
Meanwhile, Smith gets around wheeling in the whoops in the background.
Burkeen going for the quad midsection, nails it. Burkeen's nailing all the big lines tonight.
But it still looks like Mullins might be closing on him a little bit, coming to the line to complete lap 1. 2 laps to go.
He's definitely closing now as Burkeen slaps the front end down, not scrubbing, instead front flipping.
Look at Mullins there sneaking up in the background on the 9. These are 2 former outdoor champions. Mullins a champion in the 450 class this year. Our most recent Race Factory Gaming champion for that matter. So he's on a high streak right now, trying to run down Burkeen, get those 5 points.
Oh, Smith with a big mistake in third saves it. He still got Bryce Whelan pretty close, but Whelan missing that 3-3 down that section.
Burkeen still front flips the triple as Mullins trying to keep things close, but Burkeen is going for the big boy lines, makes a mistake.
Makes a mistake and not able to quad out. Mullins cases it though as well, doesn't gain time.
Let's see if Burkeen goes for the front flip on the triple here. He's off the track, jumps back on, and front flips the triple. Just gets it down in time.
The mind game's got to be unreal right now. Mullins going fast though. It's reeled him in.
Is Burkeen now gonna front flip?
Oh yeah, he ain't stopping, I don't think.
Nope, here he goes. Front flipping over the over-under bridge and into the whoops he goes. Mullins is really charging, get the fishtails through the whoops, but able to hang on to that Prime Designs Yamaha as Burkeen might be taking the white flag in the lead. Look at nailing that quad mid-rhythm section, the quad out.
Mullins quads out, same speed almost it looks like. Mullins maybe a little faster quadding out.
Is Burkeen gonna front flip the finish? Yes, he is. He's gonna come up a little short, but oh man, Mullins gonna go down the inside and woo! Close the door.
The lines cross, come close together.
Burkeen gonna charge back. Mullins now has the lead. Burkeen, will he keep front flipping in second?
We're about to find out.
Coming down to the triple. Mullins leads. Burkeen almost front flipping midsection. And still front flipping in second is Matt Burkeen as he's going after Mullins for the lead. And these guys got to be mindful. Smith is still right there. Burkeen's going to go for the big boy line in the rhythm. If he gets it, he'll be right on Mullins there. Oh, he's going over
down.
The
bars, front flipping mid rhythm. Smith is charging right now.
Yes, he is.
And ran a 1:26 lap time. That was the same as the top qualifying times.
So here comes Smith trying to chase down Mullins before the end of this thing. Man, he is really trying to put a hard charge on here at the end. He can kind of afford it. He's got 11 seconds on Burkeen and plenty of time over Shipley, so even if he crashes, he may even hang on to second, but he will definitely hold on to third. So he's looking at 3 more points on the line right in front of him as he's trying to get Mullins before the end of this race. Mullins just riding smooth and steady.
Nails that quad, and he's got to get one more quad out of this corner.
And he does. And Mullins takes the win in the shootout at Daytona after a front flip parade from Matt Burkeen. Smith takes second. And let's see Burkeen go ahead and front flip the finish line one more time just for style.
All right.
Yep. And perfect.
Full commitment from Matt Burkeen. So it's Mullins, Smith, and Burkeen, your top 3 in the Open Pro Shootout. You know what time it is?
It's LCQ time! I'm pumped. We're watching Shipley and Whelan bring it to the line. That is very interesting. Your points leader, Tyson Fresca, is not showing up. So Burkeen did pick up a bonus point in the end of it, so he chops that points lead down to just 11, although I think Mullins might actually move provisionally into second place in the standings with his 5 bonus points now.
And of course the question is, does Fresca's get back for the main event? Or that really shakes things up.
That's a good point, but I don't know. I don't see him missing the main event.
Holy cartwheels from Mullins. I don't know if you were watching that.
No, I was taking a look at Whelan.
He just tumbled from the start all the way down to the end.
Holy man, he's way down there. All right. LCQs coming up. Oh, I just dropped a phone in my lap. All right, are we excited for the fun action that this LCQ is about to bring us?
Uh-huh. I might have to lay a banhammer down first and check this out.
Uh-oh,
See
banhammer
if
time?
Holiak decided to fix his name or not. He was being a smart ass in chat, so
And
see if he actually changed it.
is he in this one?
I don't think he qualified out of the heat. I think he got 10th, but he might have got in, just snuck in out of the heat. But I think he did change it and fix it.
Yeah, I'm not seeing him in here anyway, so.
When I list players, it showed up right. So I'm guessing he did. The gate's about to go down. I'm watching the number 50 of Peter Like. He had a great start in that heat race and crashed himself out of qualifying. Devin Davis in this thing as well. See the
Here we
17
go.
side off. The locomotive out of the gate strong again.
Oh,
Left from
somebody shuts the door. Was
outside.
that Landry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Heckman. Both ripping the berm. Peter
Oh.
gets taken out.
Heckman
by
and
the
Peter.
55 of Heckman.
Yeah, Heckman kind of looked like he just was going straight on in turn 2. Maybe he thought he had enough room to go to the outside there, but Landry leads the way. Fred Heather, William St. Laurent, Jared Seidhoff in the top 4 with Jesse Calloway in 5th. As Seidhoff tries to shove it down the inside, but he's maybe going to get passed by Calloway, his teammate. Yes, he will.
Horrid start for Devin Davis in the pack as well.
Seidhoff down the inside of Callaway. They're going to go side by side. This is early on for the transfer spot as they're trying to go around Fred Heather on either side. So now they're both in transfer positions as Heather goes backwards and Craig Leak gets into the back of him into the wall jump. And it's still Seidhoff and Callaway side by side. Callaway finally nudges ahead for the spot as Seidhoff had to not do the triple, but he is still in the transfer spot. Fred Heather in the background. Up front, Benny Landry making some mistakes getting into the bales.
Callaway's down. Fred Heather almost down, but he's going to lose the spot. Dorian. How do you say that name? Trevor Doran?
Doiron, yeah.
Doiron moves into the number 4 spot. Guido
Whoa.
and Fred Heather.
Woo! And who's that off the side of the track? Oh, no, that was somebody on the other side of the track.
Their
My
section.
apologies.
Ethan Parks has ripped the whoops up into the 6th spot.
Battle up front.
Doran is messed up. Holy crap, everyone's going down. No one wants 4th right now.
St. Laurent down before the finish as Seidhoff takes the 2 spot. Doiron and Heather is down. Guido over the berm as Like slices through. There's Devin Davis from way back. All of a sudden, he finds himself right in the battle for the final transfer spot with Peter Like.
1 lap into this 4-lap race. The guys that were both down on the first lap are running in the number 5 and 6 spots. Great pass right there from Devin Davis. See, sliced inside a railing locomotive.
Yeah.
Don't stand on the tracks when the train's coming through. Devin says, I'm just going to run across him real quick.
Davis is a man on a mission right now. I saw he was very unhappy in chat after that heat race performance in which he blew it on the last lap. And he's going to go try to run down Trevor Doiron for that final transfer spot. He has got the Canadian William St. Laurent right in front of him. This guy's electing to do that kind of safer line through the rhythm. I saw Davis make a mistake in the background. Seidhoff all alone in 2nd. Benny Landry, when he starts up front, man, he's pretty good. Finished 7th last week with a good start. Finds himself in the LCQ this week, but a good start, and he's pulling away from Seidhoff. There's William St. Laurent and Trevor Doiron. So let's see, can Devin Davis close in? Let's go on board with the number 45 machine into the whoops. Just trying to keep it on 2 wheels and give himself a chance.
He looks good. He looks fast.
Yeah, it looks smooth too.
Definitely keeping the pressure on. Let's take the lap times might just tell the story as they go across the line. He picked up just under a second on Doiron last time around. They're pretty far clear of the number 6 spot. The battle looks like it could come down between Doiron and Davis. And there's the 2 riders down. St. Laurent and Landry are both on the ground.
Oh,
Davis
wow.
goes into the 4th spot.
So now it's up to
St.
St.
Laurent
Laurent.
on the outside looking in now.
Yeah. And
Big
Landry,
shake up down that rhythm.
Landry finds himself all the way back to 3rd. Like you said, he was on the ground too. So Seidhoff now has a comfortable lead as Doiron goes into the 2 spot. And St. Laurent's going to try to close in on Devin Davis now. Oh, and finally after, what have we got? An hour and 9 minutes, my internet finally crashes for the first time.
Interestingly enough, your voice sounds fine through it all. Davis does lose the spot.
Oh, Laurent shuts the door, and Davis is on the ground, but Laurent also slid out.
Oh, Davis down again. He's going to pull it back together without going off the bike. He needs to settle down and realize there's a whole lap of racing left. And anything can and usually does happen. Doiron has pressure from St. Laurent. These guys got to be careful not to get tied up too much in a battle.
Sidehoff all alone at the front. Laurent
St. Laurent goes for the quad. He's off
down.
the bike.
What kind of move was that? Here comes Davis going for a quad in the middle of the rhythm, and he's going to go into St. Laurent. Whoa, what was that?
He gets ejected.
Whoa, wow. He hit St. Laurent, and then St. Laurent, like, lagged into him and just put him back on the ground. That was insane.
The rage meter is off the charts right now. That quad claimed both guys. Davis actually got it clean, but then couldn't slow down to get around to down St. Laurent. And we have a last lap shootout for the main event. Davis almost goes down. He is panicking right now.
He wants to be in so bad. He's going to be so mad if he doesn't get into this main event tonight.
The red button has been hit.
Panic button alert in the dump server right now. He's pushing. Honestly, he might do himself a favor just to kind of run smooth lines and get close to St. Laurent. St. Laurent has been a little sketchy these last few laps, particularly through the whoops.
Oh, St. Laurent's going long.
Woo!
He saves it. Almost goes down, though. And the third place rider is Benny Landry now, and he's just getting off the ground.
Davis can see both of these guys in front of him. Meanwhile, Sidehoff is about to bring home a win. Doiron is just trying to hold on for the 2 spot as St. Laurent closes in on Benny Landry as Sidehoff comes down to take the checkered flag. Oh, Landry's down in the whoops. Davis has just got to get through the whoops. He's going towards Landry, though, and he just gets through, almost goes over the bars at the end of it, so he's just got to get through this rhythm section clean.
Landry's going to go for it this last section and probably cut the track and do something dumb.
Oh, man, he is off the side of the track. He's still out of shape. Oh, and Laurent is down in the last corner. Landry comes into your living room with an air wheelie, but Davis goes through, St. Laurent goes through, Landry misses out, and the whoops claim another victim tonight. And you were talking about you couldn't believe that people were struggling in them. Now it's causing people to miss transfer spots.
Yeah, I mean, I don't expect the pro guys to struggle.
That was crazy.
I mean, the pro-am and the am guys, that makes sense to me. The pro guys,
So in the end, Landry misses out. Jake West not going through. Callaway, Peter Like was up front early on. Ethan Parks, Edward Mora, Craig Leake, Evan Ryan, Walter Gebhardt going back and forth across the track under the tunnel with Alex Heckman and Josh Betts right there. Reed Young was a lap down. Kevin Frazaka out of the race. So was Matthias Janis and Stefan Guido and Fred Heather. Only 20 guys started the LCQ. Only 4 went to the main from it.
we got another one of those to go.
What is Sidehoff trying to do here? Where the hell does he think he's going with that?
Heckman hasn't finished up.
Alright, just waiting on Heckman to finish. And cuts are in. Doiron, Davis, St. Laurent do go through. Landry misses out.
Next race, Pro-Am Motocross LCQ.
Oh boy, your future competition lining up here. A lot of guys that were very close in the heat races end up in this LCQ tonight, so let's see what they are made of. Including Kyler Hockey. Kyler Hockey is in this one. He was great in the opening round and then had a disaster second round. I don't think he made the main, but he jumps the gate.
Nails the start right there.
And he's going to go into the first corner.
Perfect timing on a 250F. Rip the hole shot. get away from the carnage. If you can just keep her on 2 wheels, he should find himself in the main event. He's one of the faster guys in this class. Coming around the outside, Tyler Fry, another heavy hitter in this class, finding himself in the LCQ. He had a disastrous heat race.
So Fry,
he's going to get out front now.
Yeah, takes the lead. Hedge is up there. Santino has Jake Warden down the inside. So let's see if these guys can get cleaner through this rhythm section as Tyler Fry blows the lead. And here's Hockey out front now with Hedge down the left side of the track. Fry holds on to the 2 spot though for now, as Hockey is going to go down with the lead and somehow stay on the bike, but lose a top 4 spot as all 4 riders go through.
And maybe more importantly is the track position that he gives up, because now he has to deal with guys going down in front of him, battling in front of him, etc. Hockey is hitting the panic button, aka D. Davis style right now. He needs to just settle down. He only has to get 1 spot. The chaos we've seen in this class, not that difficult for a guy with the speed that he has.
Exactly. And
there he goes. Tyler Fry gives it to him.
Through the whoops we go. Hedge, Warden out of shape. Warden down at the end of the whoops, but somehow does not go down, even though he went through the last whoop backwards. But he's up and fine in the 4 spot still. So it is Hedge, Hockey now up to the 2 spot, Santino 3rd, and Jake Warden in the 4 spot. Tyler Fry has to regroup and try to come forward. Big gap after Eric Martin and Stephen Cameron behind that to Zach Howell is about 10 seconds. So 5th and 6th really the only ones, I'm sorry, 6th and 7th really the only ones keeping it close right now as Cameron now goes down. So Warden has Tyler Fry breathing down his neck, and Fry slides it out. That was the battle for the last transfer spot. Still Hedge, Hockey, Santino. Hockey over the bars and flipping out of the rhythm section. So Warden goes through, and Fry should get there as Eric Martin goes down in the background. Fry back around Kyler Hockey for the last transfer spot. For now, 4 laps in this thing though. Anything could happen.
Oh, Hockey gets into the bales. Gets back going. Hedge was down. He's back going. So now we have a 3-rider battle. Only 2 of them going to go to the main. Hockey going to cut across the corner.
And it bites him, and he goes down, and Fry's down and off the bike. Warden down off the bike. His whoops are killing people, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, I expected a little more in this class. Hockey needs to watch how he's riding, though. I mean, he's making a lot of poor decisions.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I'm counting down the moments till he gets a ban, honestly. He's going to do something stupid, chances are.
Oh,
like
Warden down in the whoops.
Pin through the whoops.
Yeah, Hockey down after the whoops too, but Jake Warden was down, and that allows Stephen Cameron to close right up on him for the final transfer spot.
No one's out of this thing yet.
Nobody is, you're right. Kyler Hockey is still there, but how about Matt Taylor and Zach Howell and Chris Schmider for that matter trying to keep
the
things
last
close.
transfer. They're into each other.
Oh, here
Warden
comes
trying
Hockey.
to get back on the track.
Warden's just trying to get over the line now. Whoa, he's just trying to get over.
Matt Taylor coming up into the mix now as well. 2 to go.
Oh my gosh. Jake Warden almost got cleaned out by Matt Taylor swinging back and forth across the track. And Hockey is down again, and he gets up completely sideways as Stephen Cameron is just trying to make it through this rhythm section. Hockey gets the pass back on him, and here comes Matt Taylor from way back as Hockey gets blocked past by Stephen Cameron. Now what's Hockey going to do over the triple? He's just going to sling it down the inside, almost into the back of Cameron, but he goes down. Oh, and we got a T-bone. Zach Howell and Jake Warden just behind Kyler Hockey. So Matt Taylor now in the final transfer spot as it's Santino and Fry way up front, Hedge in 3rd, and Taylor bringing Stephen Cameron with him. Still about a lap and a half to go, so anything could happen here. Oh, Stephen Cameron almost jumps onto the back of Matt Taylor and then ends up going down, grabs a little too much throttle. Kyler Hockey through the whoops gets around Chris Schmider as Fry takes back over the lead from Chris Santino. Brandon Hedges down in the rhythm, Matt Taylor is just trying to get through the whoops as Hockey is wide open in the whoops and he goes down.
Some people will never learn.
Schmeider back around him. Zach Howell also through. Hockey gets up, but he loses another spot to Stephen Cameron and to Eric Martin, who slides down the inside. White flag in the air. Matt Taylor is in the final transfer spot. Chris Schmeider is trying to go after him. So it's Fry, Santino, Hedge, and Taylor. It's really up to Schmeider at this point to get something done. Zach Howell is close if both of them get together, though. Matt Taylor just needs to ride smoothly. Makes a mistake in the rhythm, though, and here comes Schmeider. Up front, Tyler Fry through the whoops clean, so he is good. Santino in between the whoop section now. Hedge has got to get through both. Really smooth in that set. Matt Taylor is just doubling his way through. Schmeider is taking your jump line through it. So Taylor, OJ is coming into the whoops, but he's in the jump line now. He's trying to get through the whoops. Gets it clean. Now he's just got to get through the last rhythm. We got a rider down at the end of the whoops, though, and that is not for position. So Tyler Fry wins. Chris Santino second. Brandon Hedge in third. And Matt Taylor just hangs on for the final transfer spot. Chris Schmeider falls short. Zach Howell not going to the main. Stephen Cameron, Jake Warden, Kyler Hockey is down in the whoops again. Probably 4 laps for Hockey, 4 laps down in the whoops.
I, for one, am glad that he's not on the racetrack in the main event because he's been riding like an absolute moron.
Braden L not going through. Francisco De La Paz. Matthew Perez is back flipping the tabletop right there. Lane Burks. Dakota Cox is done. He already finished. Zach Fisher already done too. Thomas Jazz. Austin Bear. Cade Barwig. 19 guys started this one. Well, Christopher, we are done with all the preliminary races tonight, and you know what that means.
Getting late and it's main event time.
Yeah, buddy. Although we're only about 15 minutes behind schedule right now, which isn't terrible.
No, I mean, I expected it a bit with the longer racetrack.
Benny Landry pleading with you that if there's only 21 riders in the main, please put me in. Unfortunately, that is not how it works in real life or in sim.
Curious if Fresquez has reconnected yet. I'm actually going to check that out. He is back in the server.
Alright, so Fresquez was gone for some reason, but as you said, he is now back, which is good to hear. All right, coming up first, we have the Open Amateur main event, which, as Chris mentioned earlier, we've revised to run an 8-lap main event. The top 22 riders from qualifying in the Open Amateur division were seeded directly into the main event. And if I scroll up, actually, there they are. Dakota French, Brandon Rowland, Dale Mullins, Noah Karasi. We also got Moto Agogo qualifying into the last spot here tonight, so that's good to see our old pal.
Oh, Go-Go made the main. Attaboy.
I know.
Wait, I don't see him on the line, though. Give a call to Jason Felke. Helped with a bunch of the stuff for this series, some of the artwork and such. Oh, Moto Go-Go is on the line. He's all the way on the outside. There's actually only 21 riders on the gate right now.
And we are underway. I actually saw Moto Go on the start, but I'm going to try to squeak across and see who gets it. Grant Dawson Vital MX's own Grant Dawson on his 305 edits Kawasaki rips a fat hole shot in the parade lap, but we also got Dale Mullins, Michael Garachi, Dakota French, Kevin Gonzalez, Nick Carvalho, Brandon Rowland, Alex Cunningham, Simon Saunter, Chris Burdine, Noah Karasi, Moto Agogo, Jet Wisdom, Jason Felke, Hayden Stevenson, Grant Harlan, Garrett Olver, Kyle Scott, Tanner Thorson, and I don't know who was behind it, Alex Stinson in tonight's main event. So again, these riders are set to go for 8 laps on this Daytona track, and this, of any race on the night, we might see the most carnage in this one.
If I'm any of these guys, I might just roll the whoops every lap, or at least just double through them.
Yeah, that's a good point. These guys have had technically the most time on the track since they've known they've been in the main event, since they have had about 2 hours to do some try-hard practicing if they wanted to.
So we have a few people in chat saying that they're not in, and my guess is they weren't here for UID grab, or they didn't actually qualify. So we're going to run with it. It looks like Blake probably checked it. That's probably why we let those guys run a little bit, just a guess. Could be wrong.
I mean, usually the case is, we saw at the opening round of the lights class, for example, Felke didn't get in, and he wasn't here for UID grab, so got to be here for UID grab. Anyway, it is time for the amateur main event from Daytona, 8 laps. Let's have some fun. And this time it was Dawson that got a good start. Yeah, Simon Saunter on the 2-stroke. And I sure hope he is on a keyboard. Oh boy. Ahead of Roland, who just put over on the ground, maybe? No? Grant Dawson into the 3 ride for now into the 2 ride. As the 2-stroke leads the way, let's hear it sing. Oh, look at that sweet sound of the 2-stroke Simon Saunter. Man, if there's a keyboard racer leading this thing right now, I'm so pumped about that. Dawson sits in 2nd, Dakota French in 3rd, Nick Carvalho. Jason Felke just got passed by Hayden Stevenson. And then we got Garrett Olver, Alex Cunningham, Adrian Wilson, Dale Mullins, and most people making it through pretty clean in the rhythm section. Some chaos going on in the back 10. What have you learned, Chris?
Blake was just asking me a question about the people that say they're not in and stuff, but I mean, I'm pretty sure that we're good.
Yeah, I mean,
just a guess.
These scripts are usually pretty rock solid, so if you're not here for UID grab and your UID has been missed, then you're not in. I mean, it's plain and simple. But Saunter, look at him just ringing this 2-stroke out. I mean, it looks like he could be riding keyboard. He's got some kind of twitchy movements in the corner, but he leads this opening lap. If he's riding with a keyboard, man, he is ripping. So the 568 leads from Dakota French and Grant Dawson. No change in the top 3 after lap 1. Felke shuts the door on Nick Carvalho while Dale Mullins is trying to squeeze through. Carvalho cuts back to the inside. They're going to go side by side down the backside of the Dragon's back. Dale Mullins trying to get to the inside of both of them. Oh man, some casing action as that was Carvalho going down as Felke and Dale Mullins do a little bit of dualies action. Oh, and Felke hits the deck. He was in 4th. Kyle Scott goes through. Adrian Wilson slices around him. And Olver might also get the pass done. Yes, he does. So Felke now in front of Hayden Stevenson. Look at this big freight train of riders coming through. Alex Stinson, Brandon Rowland, Nick Carvalho got up right behind all this, and Kevin Gonzalez occupies the 13 spot. Oh, Carvalho's casing this triple. Oh, yeah, going down hard right in front of Kevin Gonzalez. And we also got a rider down here. That's Hayden Stevenson. Oh, look at these guys go through the whoops. Oh, Stinson down. Somehow Brandon Rowland just bounced off of his engine casing and kept going. As Riesenberg leaves the chat for a moment. Dawson getting passed down the right side of the whoops by Brandon Rowland, who's on a nice little charge here. Bike graphics red. Moves up into the 7th spot. Kyle Scott. Oh, Simon Saunders lost the lead, which means Dakota French is now leading, but he has just gone down. He's got a big old gap on Dale Mullins. Mullins might just get there before French gets going. Not quite. No relation to Jesse Mullins is Dale Mullins, so our 2-time outdoor national champion is not in any way related to this man on your screen. So French still leads it here on lap 3 of 8 in the open amateur main event. Mullins still second. Meanwhile, here comes Brandon Rowland trying to squeeze it up tight on Kyle Scott for the 3 ride. Rowland was your second fastest qualifier here, and he's looking silky smooth. But Kyle Scott is doing a great job fending off the attacks right now from the number 100. Trying to squeeze down the inside is Rowland, but Kyle Scott hangs on. Good battling for the 3 spot. The whoops have been killer all night for everybody, and both of these guys having some troubles. Good move by Rowland. Jumps onto the triple out of the corner and squeezes by Kyle Scott. Now if he gets the whoops clean, he should be fine. Oh, we got 2 riders down out front. That was the leaders. That was... wow, Simon Saunders going to go from 5th to 1st. Rowland, French, all down here with Mullins. And then French gets up and puts Rowland over the berm. Not too sure what that was about, but the keyboard warrior back out front going on to lap number 4. It's all changed once again as French was down with Mullins after the whoops. And now Kyle Scott has Garrett Ulver closing right in. Ulver a little short on the finish line jump, trying to squeeze down the inside of Kyle Scott. Now Scott goes wide and gives the line to Ulver, but he hangs onto the spot because Ulver went off the track. Ulver's going to tuck tight to the inside here, use that inside line to his advantage, but Scott gets a better drive out of the corner and hangs onto the spot for now. Ulver down the inside again, and another nice move. Grant Dawson back here, just trying to keep things close with Kevin Gonzalez coming in from behind, and Dale Mullins, who is down after the whoops. Oh, over a mistake, so Scott gets back through into the 3 ride. Up front, Dakota French is trying to close things down on keyboard warrior Simon Saunter on the 2-stroke at the front. But Saunter looking so good for a keyboard rider. Must have a really smooth setup because he's able to just attack the whoops and go kind of straight through them. He makes a big mistake here. He's going to have to go over the bridge as French jumps over top of him. They end up side by side, but not a great drive for either of them into the whoops. Saunter is just trying to hang on. Good save. A little out of shape in the whoops, but French takes the lead. Oh, French off the track. Saunter, wow, what a save. I thought he was going over the bars for sure. Meanwhile, Kyle Scott keeping things pretty close here in the 3 spot. So Dakota French did have the early lead, and he crashed at the end of this section earlier on. So let's see if he can hold it together this time around, as Saunter is still trying to give chase in the 2 spot. French looking very smooth. Rhythm X Yamaha number 117 out front. Don't want to go away from this battle too soon before anything else happens. These guys are actually getting away from Kyle Scott a little bit as French misses the inside rut. So Saunter is keeping things close. French a little mistake. Saunter still right there. And French, wow, he treated that last 5 jumps like it was a whoop section. Able to stay on 2 wheels. And Saunter's going to have a nice line around the outside and takes the lead back away from Dakota French. Great battling in this amateur division. And Saunter looking great in the whoops as long as he can get through this upcoming section cleaner, as he makes a mistake there, tries to double in. They're going to be side by side coming to the jump, and French is going to get the full distance on it, and he's going to have a good drive into the whoops as long as he keeps it clean. He's going to go off the track. Saunter has a great drive down the inside and makes the move back. Good paddling at the front. All the while, Kyle Scott's just hanging on in third. These guys are actually spreading out ahead of the rest of the field by quite a bit, for that matter. I mean, look at this. Here's Scott in third. And you have to go all the way back to before the tunnel jump to get to Olver in third. Dale Mullins is fifth. Nick Carvalho now is in sixth. Jet Wisdom runs in seventh. Grant Dawson back to eighth. Kevin Gonzalez just getting passed there by Brandon Rowland for ninth. And that is the top 10 as they split Carvalho going into the whoops. And someone just elected they did not want to go through the whoops there. That is Jet Wisdom on the 403. He completely missed the whoop section, which I'm surprised he didn't miss too many timing gates. But Saunter still leads lap 6 of 8. Can the keyboard warrior come through and win this thing? So Saunter looking smooth. French not able to get the triple, so he's losing some time. Kyle Scott all alone realistically in third. He's not too close to French, but he's way ahead of this group. Olver is on the ground right now with somebody. That was Dale Mullins before the Supercross triple. Mullins definitely missed a timing gate there by going off the track, so he's gonna get some cuts from that. Kevin Gonzalez slides into the 5 spot as Olver jumps off the track. Look at this 4-rider battle between Carvalho, Rowland, Jet Wisdom, and Grant Dawson, and somebody went down at the end of the rhythm section. Yeah, that was Olver, and they're all going to go around him. So a nice tidy little battle there. They're trying to run down Dale Mullins at the moment. Got a request in chat to go on board with Kevin Gonzalez. Gotta find where he is. Here he is. He is in P9 right now, trying to run down that battle between Grant Dawson and somebody else in front of him, but going down is not going to help. Oh, Jet Wisdom. Maybe that's why he went around the whoops last lap, because he is going down in them. So Carvalho slices through as Rowland has gotten away from this battle. He's trying to go after Mullins as Kyle Scott still sits in third. Dakota French is trying to remount an attack on Simon Saunter. We're about a lap and a half away from the finish of this thing, and Saunter is trying to do it for all the keyboard heroes out there right now that don't have a controller and play this game with the keyboard. It's a tough task. And it used to be more common back in the original days of MX Simulator that people would just play it with a keyboard, but I'll tell you what, it's become a very controller-heavy based game. Hard to play it without a controller. Saunter short on the over-under jump again, and French a little short too. Almost went over the bars, but he's keeping an eye on him. Saunter is going to take the white flag as the race leader unless Dakota French has something to say about it. Oh, this is close. Saunter almost off the edge of the track. White flag in the air. Saunter leads over French. A battle for the lead on hand here at the Daytona Shootout in the amateur division. Will it be Saunter or will it be French? Or for that matter, could Kyle Scott end up taking the win if these two get together? He's too far back at the moment for them to have a fall-off crash and it be close. Oh, Dakota French over the bars. So Saunter could cruise this thing home from here as long as he doesn't have a fall-off crash. Easier said than done, especially with only 2 hours on the track for the amateur people. Just gotta ride smooth from here, and we could see a keyboard win tonight. And look, he's even going for some of the bigger lines out there. Woo! Getting a little out of shape, but holds on to it. Doing it for all the keyboard players. I like it. Dakota French, as long as he stays on 2 wheels, will hold off Nick Scott for the 2 spot. Or I'm sorry, Kyle Scott. Rowland is down. He's going to get repassed by Carvalho. These two have gone back and forth a lot, and they're going to go back and forth again as Rowland just jumps back onto the track right in front of him. But Let's keep an eye on Saunter through the whoops. He's getting out of shape entering them, and it kicks back straight, and he splits some lappers. What a beautiful move by Saunter. He just grabbed a handful and made it through. Very ballsy, but it's going to pay off in the end. Simon Saunter bringing this thing home, coming down to the checkered flag. Keyboard Warriors unite. The two-stroke of Simon Saunter wins the amateur main event at Daytona. Meanwhile, Dakota French is down before the finish line. I just saw some lappers clean each other out in the background behind him. That was ridiculous. That was pretty sweet to see Saunter win that thing. And Kyle Scott's going to end up on the podium. 250 Warriors on the podium. So 3 different types of bike in the open class tonight end up on the podium. Scott on a 250, Dakota French on a 450. And Simon Saunter on the 250 two-stroke takes the win. Brandon Rowland is still ahead of Nick Carvalho, and as long as he makes it through this rhythm section clean, he should hang on to that spot. And he will. So Rowland picks up a 4th. Nick Carvalho takes home a 5th spot. Grant Dawson ends up slicing through into the 6th spot. Kevin Gonzalez got up from his crash and finished 7th. Dale Mullins was up front early on, crashed his way back to 8th. Jet Wisdom again, we're going around the whoops. But he's solid in 9th. And Grant Harlan is making it through the whoops. Should pick up a 10th spot here. Alex Stinson just missed a timing gate. As long as he gets through the whoops clean, he'll have 11th over Ulver, but he does not get through the whoops clean, so Ulver is going to take 11th as Harlan comes down to the line. Stinson getting up, and Cunningham, Felke, Thorson, Karasi, Burdine, Garachi, Stevenson, Moto Agogo, Adrian Wilson, those guys are all done. So we will wait for the 12th rider to come across the line, Alex Stinson, as he weaves his way through some traffic there. Over the line, and we are done in the amateur division. So cuts in, and it looks like the top 10 stayed entirely the same. Simon Saunter is your winner, the Keyboard Warrior. Keyboard King, as he likes to declare. Let's get a nice shot of him here, getting the checkered flag waved in his face. Ah, Dakota French trying to ruin all the fun. Listen to that bike purr. Yummy. All right, folks. Up next, we got the Pro-Am division. And after that race, I expect we're going to see a lot of fun stuff in that Pro-Am division. Those guys are going to go for 10 laps. And if we remember back to the heat races earlier tonight, oh, it was fun in the Pro-Am class, so it might just be even more fun now that points are on the line and the main event is coming up. We'll give you guys a full rundown after these guys get off the line, or maybe before they get off the line. We have got on the line here Kale Simmerock, Brandon Cummings, Buddy Parker, Blake Scheiman, Hunter Friesen, Chris Santino, Chris Riesenberg, Brandon Hedge, Michael Ming Woodley, Douglas Oakley, Logan Heagney, Matt Taylor, Seth Jones, Ricky Williams, Ryan Wilson, Jeremy Atkinson, William Syme, Logan Leitzel, Justin Harper, Colby Eaglin, Tyler Fry, and James Schuler on the line for tonight's amateur main event. This is the parade lap, and just like when he was on a two-stroke, Justin Harper rips a beautiful start. Harper used to be the two-stroke warrior in the outdoors earlier this year. Now we move down to the Pro-Am division for the Supercross racing. And he's going to try to take on this Pro-Am class tonight along with the 21 other riders on the gate here. Looks like we got a few of the amateur riders joining us in chat after their race with some not so friendly words. So what do we have in store for this Pro-Am division? Obviously, big shakeup in the points in this class regardless, as the absolute dominator of this class, Jack Zars, qualified first, then did not show up for the race, was not in for the heat races, didn't make it into the LCQ, not in tonight's main event. No idea why he wasn't here, but he wasn't. And so all these runners see a big points haul opportunity on the table for tonight, and a chance to slice through and take the points lead away from Zars, perhaps. Aw, what's up, TG Photo? My boy Todd Gutierrez joining us in chat. Always good to see the NorCal Mexican joining us. For all of you gaming fans out there, Todd Gutierrez is a photographer for Monster Energy Gaming, which I believe just picked up a pretty top-rate CSGO team that they're sponsoring now, but Todd could probably fill you in on that on chat. Anyway, back to the MX Simulator action on hand tonight. We have got the gates lined up. We are ready to go from Daytona, the Open Pro-Am division. 10 laps later, we'll know who's going to win this main event, but right now, it's all to play. Who's going to win the main event? Let's find out right now. Good start from Syme on the 303. He's going to cut everybody off and probably take the whole shot. Harper tried to cut through the bales and actually got the whole shot cutting through the bales. So Harper takes the lead away from Syme, and that's a 427 of Ryan Wilson in there. He almost got stuffed by the 72. That is Brandon Hedge, and Doug Oakley just got landed on in the background. As Hedge jumps around Michael Ming Woodley, we got dualies on the opening lap as Ryan Wilson takes the lead away, so Syme went down at the front. So Wilson having troubles now. The lead gets taken over by Michael Ming Woodley. Brandon Hedge, Ryan Wilson, Seth Jones, Matt Taylor, Chris Santino, Logan Heagney, Doug Oakley. Oh, and there was a crash. Heagney and Oakley get together as Scheinman splits through the gap. It's chaos at the front as Woodley leads them through the whoops, but here comes Brandon Hedge on the 72. He's going to go wide, and he'll get a great drive. Goes for the triple on, comes up a little short. Woodley hangs onto the lead. Hedge is not going to get the over-under jump, and he's going to get passed there by Seth Jones and Ryan Wilson. Through the whoops they go. It is Woodley tucking down to the inside with Seth Jones slinging to the outside. Lots of different lines in use by these amateur riders. Jones into the bales as that was Wilson, I believe, going into the 2 spot. Yes, it was, and we got a crash. That's Matt Taylor down with Seth Jones at the end of the rhythm. So Taylor had a great start on the 877, but he is going backwards. Scheinman is trying to make the pass on Santino, but he's not doing a terrific job of making that rhythm section look like it's a smooth line. So Woodley is actually pulling away now as Hedge just went off the track. Ryan Wilson momentarily took over the 2 spot, but Hedge gets back on in second. Now Justin Harper slides down the inside and goes into second as Hedge goes down. Harper, fastest rider right now out there, and he OJs the triple big time. So Harper is going to do what he can to run down Michael Ming Woodley, who's just trying to run smooth laps out front. Get away when he can and where he can, because I bet Harper is going to start slicing into this lead quickly. As long as he stops OJ in the triples, he's getting a little too frisky on him. Harper, another one of those guys with former pro experience, dropping down to this pro-am division as Ming Woodley gets corked on the over-under bridge. And Harper, let's see how he gets through the whoops. Gets right on top of him and just smooth as silk. Didn't even move one direction or the other. So Harper is going to try to slice into that lead as Santino has gotten around Ryan Wilson. Brandon Cummings has Brandon Hedge right behind him, so a battle of the Brandons. As Hedge on the 250F jumps in on the triple out of the corner, and then, oh, Brandon Cummings tried to slice down that line that Hedge had already occupied and goes down. I thought that was Logan Leitzel that's just sliced through. And that is also William Syme after an early fall. We saw Syme grab a hole shot, or almost grabbed a hole shot, got taken over by Justin Harper. Oh, Syme gets into the bales, loses the front wheel. Brandon Hedge coming back on from off the track. So let's go on board a little bit now with Justin Harper. Did a 1:31.8, closed that gap down to under 5 seconds last time by. So he's trying to run down Michael Ming Woodley at the front and using some pretty smooth lines to do it. You can see Woodley is closing in on him. Look at, he just cut a whole second off in just that section. Now under 3 seconds. And Woodley he's down right in front of him, and Harper gets into him and he goes down. And Woodley's gonna get up and slice to the inside. Harper's gonna get the triple on and take the race lead. A 7-Eleven next level racing machine. Justin Harper goes to the front of the field. Ming Woodley tries to get a good run in the whoops, but he's in the little jump line there on the right side of the track. So this could be goodbye time now for Justin Harper, who looked great early on and just reeled in Michael Ming Woodley from pretty far back, makes the move. Now Santino is going to put Ming Woodley in his eyesights and try to go after the 2 spot. Ryan Wilson, Brandon Cummings. Jeremy Atkinson has Matt Taylor closing in on him, and Matt Taylor has his teammate Logan Leitzel right behind him, but Leitzel just went over the berm. And then appears a wild Logan Leitzel. So Hedge slices through. Oh, Taylor's down after the finish line. Atkinson won one of the heat races earlier on. And he's trying to keep things close. He's in 6th. So all things are kind of spread out right now. Oh, Harper down. He had the lead. And as I was saying, you know, Harper just going to run away with this thing. He's back to 3rd. Let's do a quick top 10 rundown brought to you by Racetech Suspension, racetech.com for all your suspension and engine components needs. Michael Ming Woodley, Motion Motorsports, 908 machine. He's leading this thing as he's jumping his way through the whoops. Chris Santino slides into the 2 spot on the Monster Energy Yamaha. Don't have his skins. Hopefully they get that stuff in the skins thread next week. Justin Harper is in 3rd, Next Level Racing. Ryan Wilson now in 4th as my internet finally craps itself out for the 2nd time of the night. Jeremy Atkinson has made his pass on Brandon Cummings for 5th, so Cummings back to 6th, and
Entering your channel, timed
whoa,
out.
that was a double disconnection. So I just timed out and everything just went to
Connected.
shit. And I'm back in TeamSpeak for now. And here comes the stream back slowly but surely. So we were on Atkinson, who is in 5th, I think. Yeah, 5th. Leitzel, Logan Leitzel on the MGX Suzuki has moved up to 6th, ahead of Brandon Cummings, who slides back to 7th now. But he gets the pass back on Leitzel to move into 6th before he goes almost down before the finish line. Leitzel jumps over him. Let's get away from that battle before it turns ugly. Here's 8th place, Doug Oakley on the 110 TBR machine. Another guy with pro experience. And William Simon is down before the finish line in 9th, so Seth Jones will take that spot away. And Tyler Fry now occupies the 10 spot for Team Volcom. So apparently I need to stop watching William Simon, because every time I go back to him, he hits the deck. Ming Woodley, by the way, is just riding silky smooth at the front. About halfway through this thing, after he puts the 5th lap in the books here, he'll be halfway done. Oh, but he's down. Oh, why did I jinx him? Son of a gun. Justin Harper back out front on the 7-Eleven. And basically the same spot he completed the past 2 laps earlier before crashing. Oh, out of shape in the whoops. He's down. Big fall at the end of the whoops. And Ming Woodley will slide it in and take the lead away. Sorry for my internet kind of going all bananas right now, but you know, that's what it happens when you have terrible internet. So Ming Woodley does finish the 5th lap in the race lead. Harper is 2nd. And Jeremy Atkinson has moved up to 3rd, which means Santino's gone backwards. Ryan Wilson almost got around him there, but then fell off the bike. And Logan Leitzel also having a little dirt nap right next to him in 6th. And here comes Oakley from 7th. And he's going to try to do his own little version of the dirt nap. Anybody else want to take a little sleep in this corner? No? Everybody's just content right now? All right, good. So they got a lapper in between them. I'm trying to see who that is. I can't quite see a number. That is the 215 Ricky Williams. He's in 20th. So Fry Cummings is down in front of Syme, who still gets the 3-4 in that rhythm section. So Syme is continuously trying to charge forward here. And he's going to get Fry maybe on the Supercross triple. Fry a little short. So Syme makes the pass into 8th and immediately falls and crashes again. So that's the 3rd time on camera we've gotten William Syme hitting the deck. Ming Woodley still holding on in front of Justin Harper here, who's trying to give him a chase once more. So Harper bringing it down over the line. Nice little flick. 2 seconds back. And he can sense that Ming Woodley is right in front of him. I think Ming Woodley sees the time going down on his pit board once again and is just trying to ride his own little smooth race at the front. But here comes Harper already. That 2 seconds goes by so fast, and Harper's got a great line as he triples in and makes the pass again. He's just doing everything faster, basically, than Ming Woodley. So much so that Ming Woodley's lines aren't capable of responding in any way. He's got to hope Harper keeps making mistakes. Almost made a mistake there. Ming Woodley pulls alongside. Harper makes a mistake. Ming Woodley takes the lead again. Incredible. And again, a mistake for Ming Woodley. So now Harper to the lead, and he turns it down on the Supercross triple. A little bit short. Back and forth we go at Daytona for the lead in the Open Pro Division. Through the whoops, out of shape, Harper goes. Ming Woodley's still trying to use that inside line to his advantage, but it's just so fast to go on-off on the outside from the 3 in. And Woodley is out of shape in the background, and he is down and off the bike, so Harper is going to have the lead all to himself now. Next up, can Jeremy Atkinson perhaps close in on Ming Woodley? Meanwhile, Logan Leitzel is sliced through into the 4 spot around Ryan Wilson. So Wilson has gone backwards. Leitzel has come from 6th to 4th in the last lap or so. Little Boner Air Leclerc on the tunnel jump. Into the whoops he goes. A little rock and rolling through there. Ryan Wilson a little out of shape before the end of it, but he hangs on. Doug Oakley is coming through as well with Tyler Fry tailing him as Santino has gone backwards. Don't forget, those of you watching live right now, coming up next is the Pro main event, the one that everyone's here for. All the big hitters will be there. We're watching the end of this Pro-Am main event. Justin Harper has realized that consistency is the better of two evils. He's just cruising along now as Ming Woodley is all alone for the time being in second, but these mistakes that he keeps having is not going to help his cause as Atkinson is trying to close in. Leitzel is right in front of Wilson. I'm really keen on watching Oakley and Fry come up, though. Those guys are really fast. Both of them have pro experience, and both of them are closing in really fast as Leitzel gets passed by Ryan Wilson, and Leitzel is boner air in the triple as Oakley comes up short. Tyler Fry right on his rear wheel. Leitzel slides out on the inside, so he loses 2 spots in one go right there as Fry and Oakley slide through for 5th and 6th. And now Oakley trying to get around Ryan Wilson through the whoops. He's got Fry just breathing down his neck. So Oakley gets the triple in here. He's got a better line worked, and he does. Gets the 3 down and triples to the inside here. Sounds like there's a rider down on the exit of this corner. Could not quite see him, though. So Oakley makes the move on Ryan Wilson. Next up is Tyler Fry trying to make the pass as he's going to come down the inside. Wilson shuts the door. But Doug Oakley is now into fourth. He's about 10 seconds behind Jeremy Atkinson. Justin Harper, for that matter, is all alone at the front. 25 seconds gone. Whoa, Fry and Wilson almost making some contact there. Their lines cross once again. And this battle has really just allowed Oakley to pull away, and now Fry hits the deck, trying a little bit too hard perhaps to get around Ryan Wilson. So Oakley is pretty much all alone in fourth. He's going to try to run down Atkinson, who in his own right is closing in on Ming Woodley up front. Justin Harper has just taken the white flag, and you can see, judging by how we just switched riders, how far ahead Justin Harper really is as he weaves his way through some lap traffic here. So it's Harper all alone in front, Ming, Woodley, and Atkinson. Doug Oakley is, by all stretch of the imagination, the fastest rider on the track right now. Can he get to Atkinson before the end? Ming Woodley, a big mistake, ends up going the wrong way through this section. And he's going to have to hop over some ruts. That's going to allow Atkinson to close in, but Atkinson is having some trouble as Chris Riesenberg's off the side of the track there, and my internet is crashing again, perhaps. It's certainly trying to. Any second now we're going to hear a bling. There it is. Internet crashed again. What else is new? Anywho, coming down through the whoops. Had a few hiccups during this main event, but in the end it all worked out. And Justin Harper, the Next Level Racing 711 machine, is just cruising this thing home, doubling his way before the finish line here. And after 2 wins to start the season by Jack Zarce, a new winner is before us as Justin Harper wins the Pro-Am division at Daytona. A great win for the 711 machine. Now we go back to Atkinson, who did get around Ming Woodley, who's all the way back to fourth. Meanwhile, Doug Oakley is still closing in. And this is not over. Atkinson has to get the whoops clean as my internet crashes again. What else is new? Atkinson through clean. Oakley also through clean. Oh, little mistake from Oakley. Atkinson is down right before the finish. Oakley almost jumps onto him. And with all this that's going on, Oakley finally gets through. And he picks up second in the end. That was stupid. Michael Ming Woodley comes through and ends up third after just getting passed at the end by Atkinson. So Atkinson goes from second to fourth in the last corner.
User joined your channel.
As Riesenberg joins us in the chat, he just finished 16th. Ryan Wilson over the line in 5th, just beats out Tyler Fry. Colby Eagland in 7th. James Schuler brings it down in 8th. William Syme is over the berm in 9th, and Cummings takes the spot from him in the last corner. And Leitzel down again in the same spot, so Syme does end up 10th. Leitzel was up in as far as 4th at one point, and he just rage quits before even getting to the line. But he will end up 11th. Cuts are in, and top 10 changed actually. Atkinson got around Ming Woodley on cuts. But Justin Harper, a runaway winner. 38-second lead at the end. And that will do it for the Pro-Am division. On to the Pro division. How was that race, Chris?
Chaos. Honestly, not that much fun. But that's okay. I'm excited to watch the pros.
Me too. Me too. I think we have a good battle on our hands tonight. Mullins looks strong. Shipley's always good at Daytona. Burkeen, when he's not front flipping, could be a winner. And obviously Fresquez, your fastest qualifier. Who have you got, Chris?
I'm going Tyson on this technical of a track. I feel like he's got to beat. I wouldn't be surprised though to see. Wouldn't be surprised to see a new winner. Or as in like I'm thinking like Brady Stanley. I could see him winning this thing.
Yeah, that's a good point. Could see Stanley up there. I think Shipley is always very strong here, and I expect him, if he gets a good start, to be contending with those guys.
I mean, it's hard to go on a technical track like this. It's hard to go against to Jeremy Smith, just the consistency factor alone.
Yeah, there you go. Jeremy Smith also in there. There's probably 5-6 guys that with a good start could at least challenge, if not straight up beat Fresquez.
Looking at the gate selections here, trying to see who's kind of down on the inside. Smith going all the way to that inside gate. Mullins is in there. Fresquez, Shipley. McLeod's at about gate 6. Tyson's also been nailing the crap out of his starts this whole offseason, so I feel like that gives him a pretty big advantage.
Should be very interesting no matter what the outcome is. Burkeen able to close within 11 points after that shootout. No Fresquez in the shootout. Do we see Fresquez out on the track? Yes, we do. Okay. Just wanted
Who
to
did you pick?
I have not picked yet.
Okay, well, I'll make a final pick too when you do, and I'll make sure I pick someone other than you. Leaning towards Tyson.
I'm going to pick JS4. I like that pick. I like where he was last week. I think he'll improve on that this week. Second, I think he'll go first.
Alright, I'm going to go with Tyson.
All right.
Shorter race. Could play a factor. By shorter laps wise.
Yeah, 12 laps as opposed to the 15 laps that these guys have been running. We're, for what it's worth, accustomed to in the first 2 rounds. So could play a part. A start could be a huge factor here, but the longer lap times also need to be factored in. Either way, we are set to go. Everybody's lined up on the line. I'm going to take a look at Tyson. He's on the 4th gate. All the hard work going into building this track and all the time put in by these riders to get to this moment is about to pay off. Who will win the Daytona Shootout? Presented by RacefactorGaming.com. We are underway. Burkeen with a great start, but Smith is going to slice to the inside. It was Burkeen across the line first, though.
Holiak.
And Holiak shoves Smith wide in turn 2 and then takes him out by going back and forth across the track. Very crafty riding there by Holiak as Burkeen gets a big lead from Armstrong. We got a rider down on the Yamaha back there. That might have been Mullins if it wasn't
Stanley
Honeywell.
now gets put off the track by Connor Holiak.
Yeah, Holiak, 2 very shifty maneuvers there in the first 2 corners.
Richards now going to work on Devin Davis, who runs up in the 4 spot. That might have been Davis, actually, not Holiak. I didn't get the number as he got punted. I thought on track position that it was Holiak, and I'm pretty sure it is because there's a big gap in there.
Yeah.
But it could have been Davis. Davis out of that LCQ, last transfer spot in the main, running top 4 early.
We got 4 riders all going in the air on the wall jump. Jack Haley. Oh, and Fresquez is down, and Stanley just ran, or I'm sorry, that's Shipley.
We momentarily had a new leader. James Armstrong ran it in the inside, made the pass temporarily before Burkeen was able to slingshot back by him. No front flips here. It's main event time for Matt Burkeen.
All business at the front. Burkeen leading the way now from Armstrong, who's given chase. Saw Armstrong earlier in qualifying, looked very smooth, very fast. Trying to be a factor tonight. Ooh, nice smooth move by Devin Davis trying to get down to the inside, and Holiak cuts back across the track. Holiak is having terrible bike control issues tonight.
Claims an air victim.
Holiak went back and forth across the track on the start, back and forth in the second rhythm and put Stanley down, and then cut sideways across the track there into the side of Devin Davis. 3 crashes by 3 different people, all involving the same person on the first lap. Doesn't matter if it was his fault or not, there's one common denominator there.
And if you do that, then Kellen is going to wreck you on the stream, boys.
No doubt about it. Burkeen nails the big line in the rhythm, though, and he is trying to get away from Armstrong, but he's down. Oh, I thought he was going to ride out of that. So Armstrong smooth out front, but he just OJs the wall jump a little bit. So I saw that was I believe
Richards and Haley.
Yeah, Haley going through also, and now Holiak, the wild man, right behind Burkeen here. Oh, Burkeen, puts Holiak on the
Holiak's
deck.
off the bike.
So McLeod cuts through, Shipley's up there, Rob, and Honeywell, so it must have been Mullins that I saw go down.
For the Mullins is back in 14th, Fresquez 15th, Jeremy Smith 16th.
Oh my.
There's about to be a freight train coming through the pack, boys and girls.
Speaking of freight train, there's a line of about 6 riders going through the rhythm section before the finish line right now. 3 of them at the back are all on Yamahas and all fighting it out.
I tell you what, the top 3 would all, I would say, be surprise winners, and we've kind of talked about that a little bit, potentially being the case. But Matt Burkeen trying to run them down from the 4th spot, he definitely would not be a surprise, or Ben McLeod in the number 5 spot. Actually, I would be a little surprised to see Ben win. Like, he's a hot lapper, but his race results typically aren't that strong here in the Race Factory Gaming League.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to keep my eye on Jack Haley for this time being, because Haley finished 6th in Supercross this year with some great rides, a few podiums, never actually won a main event, but he's given Craig Richards all he can handle here in these first little sections. Oh, he makes a little mistake, but Haley's been on a roll in Supercross lately. Nice line there, by the way.
Richards just nailed that big line from the middle rut in the corner. He didn't have to go all the way to the outside.
Haley's got Burkeen trying to close the door on him right here. And, oh, Haley goes down, so just as I get finished talking about him.
Whelan having some serious internet issues right now on the number 67 machine. He's running in 10th.
Shipley just went down right in front of Holiak as they went through the tunnel. I was trying to see where exactly Jack Haley would get up. Kyle Robb has moved into the 4th spot as Burkeen is trying to run down Richards. Armstrong all alone out front right now.
Has he ever won an RF, like, Supercross National legit race?
He has not won a national, but he won the 2013 Salt Lake Supercross.
Right on. It's been a while.
Yeah.
I know he's been a good racer for a long time, but as far as being a top racer, winning races, it's been a while for James Armstrong.
Well, this
not
is
not completely shocked. I mean, he has the national number 33, and as I said, he's making some mistakes.
Well, this is always a stadium that kind of brings the OGs back to the front a little bit. Talked about it earlier that Shipley won the main event at Daytona earlier this year. It was his first main event win since 2012. And so it was a while for Shipley, and as you just mentioned, it's been a while for Armstrong.
The man on the move right now might be the number 8 of Matt Burkeen as he hits that big line through the rhythm. He's closing in on Richards, who I know is a fan of the track. He loves big whoops, so this track definitely suiting his style.
Burkeen so smooth. Might want to keep an eye on Kyle Robb, though. Robb is keeping things close behind Burkeen. We know Robb has a talent in Supercross, a former East Coast Supercross champion.
Yeah, shorter race as well. Could very well. He seemed like he loses attention span a little bit during races.
Yeah. And Burkeen,
bike setup in the whoops looks really good as well. Rob actually got into him crooked and the bike straightened itself right out. And I've noticed in the first set he seems to be going faster than anyone else.
Burkeen just tripled out of the section into second. He went 3-4-3 and got Richards down the inside. So the number 8 back into the number 2 spot.
A look back into the pack finds the number 21 all the way up to the number 6 spot. He's on a mission. He ran a 1:26 lap time last time around. Coming through the pack. He's up to 5th now.
Got around
he
McLeod.
Makes the move on. Yeah, McLeod, who is down. Jeremy Smith's made his way to 8th. Jesse Mullins to 10th, and Mullins almost hits the deck.
McLeod down after the finish again, so Mullins will slice into 9th. Oh, yep, just holds on over Siebold.
Back in second, Richards almost got into the side of Burkeen. Burkeen slid out a little in the corner, made a mistake. Richards going to go back by him right here.
Oh, and Burkeen gets put on the ground. Unfortunately, not a fall off, but there is Kyle Robb just slicing through into 3rd.
Knocking on the door second, and while I peeked out of the corner of my eye, saw James Armstrong make a little bit of a mistake going into the over-under. Almost went off into the side of the wall, and now he's in the bales. He's going to lose some time here trying to get back going.
He's got to keep his cool in this position. Lap 5, Robb down the inside trying to show Richards a wheel.
Rob's going really fast through that first set of whoops, and he's only in first gear, so he must be running some weird gearing.
Burkeen just got corked on the over-under, and
Rob's down.
bites it in the whoops. He's going to end up backwards on the other side of the track. Fortunately, neither of those guys doubling in, or else they would have gotten ruined, as Fresquez, your fastest qualifier, is going to come by and pass Kyle Robb now.
Heck of a performance already thus far by Tyson Fresquez. Coming through the pack. Lost Jeremy Smith and Jesse Mullins, who are back in 8 and 9 still.
And Smith is right on the tail of this four-way battle for the 5 spot now. As Robb got up in 5th, Whelan is 6th.
Burkeen's down. Off the bike, Tyson goes into the 3 spot.
Wow, and Burkeen's going to get up right in front of that battle that I just mentioned.
Whelan's internet looks like it's come back. Nope, it's still floating him quite a bit.
Meanwhile,
Not sure how much
behind
it's
that,
affecting him.
Smith just got around Colton Mitchell for the 7 ride. So Smith is trying to do his best to stick with Fresquez. Keep him in his eyesights, but Fresquez, obviously, like you said, getting away as Burkeen has Robb breathing down his neck. His lines ended up pretty even.
We're halfway through this thing. Time for a Versus-PC.com Top 10 Rundown. Versus Performance Computing brings you your leader, the number 33, James Armstrong, running in 2nd. Craig Richards, the Aussie, number 65. Tyson Fresquez claws his way up to a 3rd, salvaging a championship right now after missing that shootout. Burkeen gets dirty over the over-under, runs in the number 4 spot before wheeling 5th gear down those loops. On the number 8, Kyle Robb is on the ground, going to surrender the spot. Jeremy Smith now making his charge through the pack. Smith putting some 1:26 lap time down last time around. And Kyle Robb going to get back going now. As Burkeen's down, they're going to be battling it out now for the 7 and 8 spot. Burkeen has it. Robb wants it. Then comes Jeremy Siebel in 9th. And Jack Haley running up front early has dropped into the top 10 spot with Jesse Mullins giving chase. That's been your top 10 rundown, brought to you by Quality Parts, Quality Performance, Quality Service at Versus-PC.com.
So can Armstrong hang on and win this thing?
Tyson's coming.
Yeah, Richards.
He's got the lap times as well. If you look, Richards is fastest is a 1:27.8, but he's been in the 1:30 range a bit, as Armstrong as well, who's fast as a 1:28. Fresquez running down to the 1:25.1 at one point, and he's been running 1:26s pretty consistently. He is on a mission. Going inside before that big whoop section.
And inside after it too, and still doubling. Trying to keep an eye on Jeremy Smith right behind Bryce Whelan right now. He had just closed up on him, trying to get away from Colton Mitchell. Whelan having internet issues, can't even... His suspension's so good, he's just floating through the whoops right now.
Right. See what this lap does for Fresquez. He's only 2 seconds down from Richards. Another 1:25, this time a 0.8. Ridiculous laps, and that was without quadding at all in the section before the finish, or I guess before you turn to go to the finish.
Oh, Fresquez stands up in the berm, but hangs on to it.
Wheeling going to surrender the spot to Smith for 4th as Smith touched the bales a little bit. Had to straighten her back up.
I think the real question here is if Fresquez does get Richards, does Armstrong make a mistake? Because I just don't see Tyson having enough time getting to him from here. He's a pretty far ways back.
Yeah, for sure, and Armstrong actually put his fastest lap of the race down last lap, and as I said, he's landing off the side of the triple. He's going to get through the bales. Doesn't lose a ton of time for those mistakes when you're leading. Going to get the heart rate going a little bit.
And Fresquez has got Richards in his crosshairs right now.
Where does he make the move is the question. He's going to go inside here and then probably inside next one. Hopefully he doesn't collide with him doing that, though.
Man, that line
Gives
he's
him
got
some
it
room.
dialed. Side by side over the tunnel. Into the whoops. Does Fresquez have the drive? Yes, he does. Just blows by him.
He did that last lap. 3rd pin down those whoops and the bike's not even moving.
It's just, wow. So smooth.
Hashtag hacks.
So can he get Armstrong is the question. We've got 4 laps to go in Daytona. And you mentioned it earlier that the less laps could be a factor here. Even if Fresquez runs really good laps from here, he just doesn't have the time on his side anymore.
Bad news for JS4. He hit the deck and's fallen back to the number 7 spot on the TBR machine.
Must have hit the deck twice. He's really far behind Wheelan now.
Oh, Tyson makes a mistake. Richard's going to get the spot back from him.
Fresquez trying to hang on, almost scrubs into him.
Now he's going to come up short. Now he's got to go back to work again. A gift for James Armstrong, a 9.9 second lead. He's going to be grabbing 3 laps to go. Tyson, of course, has to be cautious of Richards' lag. Craig was pretty respectful, trying to give him room, it looked like, and Tyson was respecting that lag a little bit as he tried to make his way around the Australian the first time. Let's see, he's going to go inside again, and to the whoops.
And man, look at that bike just hook up through the whoops, and then he gets that inside so smooth. That's just so fast.
And then watch him here. He's 3rd gear, and he just rips these whoops too. Gets the hops a little bit. The bike just stays perfectly straight, though.
Man. Whoever is doing the suspension tuning over there at Team Volcom, they got to give that guy a raise.
And Fresco's bike looks dialed in, and a lot of that very well just Ryder as well. He's gelling with this Daytona track, but is he gelling enough to cut into what was a 10-second lead? It's down to 8 seconds. Armstrong maybe making a little mistake. He's into lap traffic as well.
Go on board with Fresquez here and see what it's like to be on board with this truly special ride we're seeing out of Fresquez.
Armstrong still dealing with a lapper. I believe that's either Honeywell or Sidehoff. I'm not positive which. I just see the black helmet on my side. The gap is down to 6.6 seconds. It's shrinking so fast. I would have to think Armstrong's just in a little bit of disbelief right now that it's going down that fast.
It's just going to take a lot out of Fresquez, though. He's only going to have 2 laps after this, and yes, the time is going down quick, but
the pressure is building as it's going down, and still not getting around the lapped rider is Armstrong. He's not really being held up, but it's always that risk.
That is Sidehoff, and Sidehoff, yeah.
Sidehoff crashes in front of him, gets stuck inside of him, and ruining James Armstrong's chance at this victory.
Yeah,
possibly.
Armstrong off the side of the track there. What was that? What is Sidehoff doing? He's in front of him for so long.
It doesn't take much to move, and there's no one in front of him.
Sad turn of events.
He's got 23 seconds before the next rider.
23 seconds before the next rider, and Sidehoff doesn't move. Can't honestly say I'm too surprised. We've seen Sidehoff make some kind of silly moves before, but it is what it is. Armstrong has got to go back to work if he wants this win, and he's got to do it against the guy that has been outright fastest on this track since the moment it was released, basically. Oh, Armstrong is pushing so hard, though. It's just tough to see that. He had a win in his hands, and it's just taken away from him.
Took all the wind out of my sails.
Yeah, that was a shame. We were having a good battle building up.
Yeah, I mean, Tyson had to put the pressure on, and
oh well.
so many times.
What are you gonna do? It's a video game, and there's still children without a sack playing it.
Lack of respect.
Yep. So Fresquez brings it down through the whoops clean as a whistle once again, and he's actually getting away from Armstrong as he's going to come down and take the white flag next time by.
Yeah, not to take anything away from Fresquez, he did lay at 125 down again that lap. I mean, he's definitely on rails, and we were going to see if he could close that gap. It was going to be potentially a really good race to the finish. Armstrong running an excellent race up here in the number 2 spot, and Richards is also solid in 3rd.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, you look at the gaps right now. Armstrong's 4 seconds behind Fresquez, and he's only lost about 2 seconds since getting up from his crash. I mean, really, he had about 5 seconds there, and he would be about 3 seconds in front right now. This easily could have been a win for him, and it's just a shame. But sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles, and Fresquez is going to extend his points lead here, especially with the kind of night that Burkeen is having in a 4th spot right there.
Yeah, pretty much erasing those points that were won in that shootout with no one in title contention in second or third right now. Not over. Burkeen's still charging. Richard's still charging. And Tyson's going to get through this technical whip section one more time.
Now, I don't even know if it's that technical for him, though. He just clicks it into third and... Oh, maybe it is
he's got
technical.
some swaps.
Look at that. What is that?
I mean, he very well was checking up a little bit, and it could have caused more of an issue for him.
Goodness gracious me. Tyson Fresquez, you are some kind of animal. He's going to bring it down. Oh, and he just hangs on to the bike. A little trembles over the line. Armstrong 3 seconds back at the end. Richards is down. Matt Burkeen is going to pick up third by virtue of Richards crashing in the final corner.
Oh, Craig.
Burkeen comes through and gets 20 very crucial points towards the championship. In the end, he'll only lose 4 points on the night to Fresquez. Richards gets a fourth, and Mitchell ends up in fifth. Whelan is trying to hang on over JS4 to the line.
It's going to come down to this last section. Who's going to get the quad
Smith has
clean?
got a great drive. Whelan gets it smooth, though, and he's going to hang on by 0.3 over the line. Cuts could be a factor there. Kyle Robb.
Smith dropped into the 125s on that last lap as well.
Wow, Kyle Robb holds on for 8th. Mullins gets up into 9th by the end, and Siebel going to bring the 19 machine home in 10th tonight. Holiak 11th, Stanley 12th, St. Laurent 13th, Devin Davis drifted back to 14th, Tyler Schmidt 15th, McLeod looks like he's out of the race in 16th, Seidhoff also out of the race 17th, Haley out 18th, Shipley out in 19th, Honeywell out in 20th, and only 20 runners started tonight's main event. What a race.
You want to make things even better? You ruin the race for the lead, and then you disconnect.
What are you going to do?
Hashtag facepalm.
Well, judging by how long Jared was in front of Armstrong, I think Armstrong has every right to protest there. But after cuts, top 10 stays the exact same. So Tyson Fresquez is your winner tonight at the Daytona Shootout, presented by RaceFactorGaming.com. Thanks for joining us here on SYS TV. Chris, you want to go ahead and list off all of our great sponsors for us?
Nah, not really interested.
Not
Thanks
interested.
versus-pc.com, FamMX, Racetech, BGFX, Moto Chasin', SYS TV, Moto Option, Ride365.com, and yeah, I don't know. I forgot the rest.
Well,
I'm
that's
bummed.
okay. Yeah.
Annoyed.
I'm right there with you, buddy. Don't worry about it. That's a shame. We were set up for a great battle. Somebody's always got to ruin it, I suppose, huh? Anyway, for Kellen Brauer and Chris Riesenberg here on Start Your Systems TV, we thank you for joining us tonight for the live stream of the Daytona Shootout. Be sure to watch the link to the archive up tomorrow on our YouTube channel, and join us in 2 weeks' time when we come back for the race from Colorado, round 4 of the SX Madness series. But we're taking a week off for Thanksgiving break, so glad you guys could join us. So long for now.
User left your channel.